hit subscribe. Subscribe to my guy, Uncle D. Tell him Big Bad sent you.
Spurling. I'm an attorney here in Houston, Texas, an advocate for black men, largely because I am a black man. I'm a black father, I have black sons. Hey man, I do what I do. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the broadcast. This is Dennis Spurling. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I do want to apologize because last night I was invited and purchased some tickets to see a movie called The Inquisitor, which was filmed and produced by some students from TSU, Texas Southern University, who are under a actually, I'm so connected to the movie, it's crazy, but it was about the famous Congressman Barbara Jordan, who is also a TSU alumni, a graduate of Boston College. And she was a native of Fifth Ward, Houston, Texas. And, you know, so I went there, my wife and I went, and we had an occasion to just watch this beautiful broadcast, which talked about the Honorable Barbara Jordan. She was the first Black woman elected from the South, the Deep South, since Reconstruction. And so it's befitting that we are talking about immigration, because in 1994, let me introduce myself. Welcome, everybody. My name is Dennis Spurling. Let me not be rude. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Hit the #1 button. Thank you all so much for being here. I certainly appreciate the time in which you take to come to me. And again, that's why I'm apologizing, because I know I had a whole slew of people here that were waiting for last night's broadcast. And unfortunately, I was at the showing of a movie about Barbara Jordan entitled The Inquisitor. Okay. And so, you know, and I was in the mix of explaining to everybody, she was commissioned by Bill Clinton to determine the effects of immigration, and she did. Okay. And when she did, she made the following determinations. You guys make sure y'all hit the #1 button if you can hear me clearly, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to get this thing cracking. We are going to get this thing moving. And again, I hope you all accept my apologies. I do certainly appreciate all the time that you all spend with me. And gosh, it's just an honor to have you here. But let's go ahead and check out this clip. Now, this is not from the movie The Inquisitor, but it is something that's, I guess someone put it together, because it just so happens that, you know, I watched that movie. Let's check this out. Hit the #1 button.
It's opened the borders in 1965, but the real betrayal happened in 1994, because that's the year a Black woman tried to warn them, and they silenced her. Her name was Barbara Jordan, a civil rights icon and the first Southern Black woman elected to the House of Representatives. She wasn't a Republican. She was a Democrat royalty. President Bill Clinton appointed her to lead the U.S. Commission on Immigration Reform. Her job was to look at the data and answer one question: is immigration good for the average American worker? The Deborah was honest. She looked at the numbers and she saw the truth. She released the report that shocked Washington. She concluded that low-skilled immigration was directly hurting the most vulnerable Americans, specifically Black men without college degrees. She said,
now I want you all to listen to this, because this goes to a greater point. And more specifically, you hear what Barbara Jordan, the Honorable Barbara Jordan, concluded this almost 30 years ago, that illegal immigration is bad for primarily Black men who don't have college degrees. Okay. So what I'm telling you, and I'm laying the foundation, immigration is not good for foundational Black Americans. Let me say that again. Immigration is not good for foundational Black Americans. And this was not a determination made by the Republican Party. This was a determination made by not only a foundational Black American woman, but a civil rights icon. For you all who don't know who Barbara Jordan is, I suggest you check out the movie The Inquisitor. She was a real one. She stood 10 toes down for what she believed. She was a real Texan, born and raised. Black men respect her, white men respect her, everybody respected her. So she made this determination. Okay. On top of that, she loved her granddaddy, and that says a lot about her. But let's keep looking.
Immigration policy must put the interests of the American worker first. She recommended cutting legal immigration by 1/3 and cracking down on illegal labor to protect Black wages. Ooh. So, what did the Democrats do?
Listen, what
did they listen
do
to this Black woman that they appointed? No. Barbara Jordan died in 1996. And the moment she was gone, Bill Clinton buried her report. Instead of cutting immigration, they expanded it. They chose cheap labor over Black livelihood. She gave them the blueprint to save the Black middle class, and they threw it in the trash.
All right. Shout out to Red Sigma. Thank you for being the first person to contribute to the super chat. So a little bit about Barbara Jordan. All right. She was an amazing speaker. I mean, some people say when she spoke, it was like listening to the sound of God, listen to God's voice. She was the primary congressman who basically became the spokesperson for the impeachment of Richard Nixon. And it was because of her work that Richard Nixon decided, well, yeah, let me go ahead and resign from the presidency, effective immediately. In addition to that, Jimmy Carter, who she helped get elected, a peanut farmer from Georgia, all she wanted was to be the Attorney General of the United States. Can you imagine had we had an Attorney General of the United States, a Black woman of her caliber in 1976? And she said, this would have allowed me to do the work that I wanted to do, but they looked over her. So here we have a situation where the most intelligent, thoughtful, knowledgeable person in the room, whether we're talking about the advancement of rights for Black Americans or the putting an end to illegal immigration, it was this beautiful, brilliant Black woman that they wouldn't listen to. And now here we are in 2026, 32 years later, and we have this mess that we're dealing with, okay? So I want you all to keep that in mind as we move forward. Again, I'm just saying this because this is not Dennis Spurling saying this. This is not all these other Black American people saying this. What I'm telling you all, and I'm talking to the immigrants and the Black immigrants in the room, we've known for a long time that your immigration here, whether it be legal or illegal, does not make America better. Okay, that is not a Republican talking point. That is that comes from a report by the Honorable Barbara Jordan, who was commissioned to put that report together and investigate by Bill Clinton. All right. Now, that being the case, I'm going to talk about what's going on in the country right now. The ICE raids are clearly racist. They serve the interest of white nationalists who enjoy watching the chaos and watching Black and brown people be targeted and attacked. And whether you're a foundational Black American, whether you're personally been subjected to racism, or even if you've been personally targeted, you still have to come to terms with this reality that these actions are racist. That remains true even when you, Black Americans, brothers and sisters, Solon people, foundational Black American, indigenous, ADOS, even when you benefit from the forced removal of Black and brown immigrants, illegal from this country. These removals reduce competition in our neighborhoods and our communities. They reduce, or should I say, the competition for space in school, rent, access to public services, safety nets, set-asides for Americans, job opportunities. Them gone is beneficial to us. That is the reality. And we're not going to live in a fictional world where we pretend we don't see what's plainly happening. And let's be honest, another uncomfortable truth, we made a deal with the devil, and the devil always comes to collect. What do I mean? We may not like it, we may not be proud of it, but as foundational Black Americans, we cannot deny right now we are reaping certain short-term benefits from these racist practices by ICE and DHS. Is it true? If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. But I don't think so. And that's not according to me, that's according to Barbara Jordan. Now, it's not just Sister Barbara Jordan that understood this a long time ago. I want you all to check this other video out. Hit the #1 button. This is one of our elders.
Elected officials refuse to address the problem. The Black elected officials refuse to address the problem.
Well, let me establish the context. Okay, this is Terry Anderson. He's from my old neighborhood in Los Angeles, South Central LA. And this video was in the 90s. I believe it was the 90s. And this was at a time when all these illegal immigrants were coming up from Mexico and El Salvador. They had established themselves in the community. And then you had foundational Black Americans, some who had been there for centuries, explaining what was happening, in that these people were literally targeting, and he's talking about Hispanic people, targeting Black people, firebombing their homes, attacking their children, race riots in the school. None of you all heard about that. Okay? Because again, this is not something that's popular. Again, Black and brown immigrants being removed from the United States benefits foundational Black Americans. Now listen to what the elder has to say. It's not me saying this. These videos are from 30, 40, 50 years ago. It's not me saying this. Listen.
Get this. The elected officials refuse to address the problem. The Black elected officials refuse to address the problem. My own congressman refuses to address the problem. And I think the problem is Black folks see all minorities as allies. And this is not the case. These people are not here for our common good. They're here for their own good. Where I don't have any ill will towards anybody, I also want to look out for my race. I'm a Black American. I've never used a hyphen. But I will refuse to turn my back on my race and see what's going on in South Central to my people and let these people come in here and just take over. I'm not going to sit back and watch it. And I think it's a terrible thing, a horrendous thing for anybody to see this going on and say, well, he's a minority like me, so I won't speak up. I don't care where he comes from. The key to this whole thing is stop the denial, stop the alliances of, in other words, he's a minority like me, so I can't speak up against him. If this was white folks folks committing these lynchings to us in South Central, what's going on, there would be an outrage in this country. We have had firebombs thrown through windows. We have had people's cars burned in the driveway because they happened to move into the wrong communities. We had a lady who moved to East LA, came to the state from the South, not knowing what East LA was. It was an all-Hispanic community. She wasn't there one day. We had another man who was burned out of his house in Torrance last year. We had 5 murders in Hawaiian Gardens just because the people were black. This would not be tolerated if this was white on black crime. But the fact that these people come here, and it's the numbers, sir, it's the numbers. They come here in the numbers, they build up the Hispanic community, and they get this sense of power against us. And there are race riots in the schools every day in Los Angeles. It never makes the media. The black kids are being run out of the schools every day and told to go back to Africa. It never makes the media. We are having people who are being discriminated against on every avenue of society. Economic, schools, even in our prisons now. They have drawn lines, and our prisoners in California are being beat and harassed and raped by Hispanic.
I mean, do you hear that? The prisoners aren't even safe. Even the crooks. You understand what I mean? So I need, and many of you all have heard about this, but now it's becoming reality. This is the reality that we're living with, and this is what our ancestors told us. All I'm trying to do at this point is lay the foundation that Black American people, foundational Black American people, benefit from the deportation of Black and brown immigrants, okay? And that's something that we just have to accept. Here's the thing. The other thing I need you to understand, it's not something that's new to us. We've known this. See, our leaders in the past spoke about this. Shout out to Bobby Williams. And so this is something that we have to accept. All right. And again, this is not something that's new. I've shown you, whether we're talking about high-powered people like Barbara Jordan, or regular everyday folk. Here's another brother from a famous show.
Benefits.
Come on back
as in
today. Listen to
money.
this.
Who deserves affirmative action? Who deserves set-asides? It gets down to the hardcore. Can you, sir, as an immigrant Black person to America, are you eligible for set-aside programs for a group of people that were disenfranchised in the United States as a result of slavery and discrimination? Now, do you feel that entitlements specifically should go to immigrant, non-white people who are now citizens even of the United States?
I believe the civil rights movement.
Now I want you to listen. This is a Tony Brown journal, okay? And this cat right here is an activist, an immigrant activist. He just got here. Listen to his arguments, okay?
Fight for equality.
Well, I'm gonna just summarize. Basically, we should receive reparations and benefits because, you know, even though we came here voluntarily and we wanted to come here for a better life, we're here because, for a better life. And to set that aside, we still have to deal with prejudice. So we should reap the same benefits that you Black Americans who went through slavery, because in our mind, you know, it's about the same. We should at least get some. Look how selfish that is. And this is why a lot of Black Americans don't like a lot of immigrants who come in. You just come in here, jump in front of the line. Look how selfish you are. You have no skin in the game. You just got here. You can go back to your country if you want to. You come over here and you want to take our resources. For work we did. That's like me working and trying to get my back pay, and then somebody who just shows up and gets hired say, well, let me get part of his back pay too, because I've had to sit here and suffer for the past 3 weeks, even though he's been here 3 years. Just think about that. You want something you're not entitled to, which is fundamentally wrong, because you didn't have to come in the first place. Keep listening.
Equality will not eliminate prejudices, and I believe.
You think it's a prejudice if African Americans believe that only Blacks who were Americans who went through that period should be eligible for those?
I think they should be eligible because they went through the pains and sufferings. I do understand it, but for me as a new American coming here facing the same prejudices against me, walking on the street in Wall Street, coming here to
Here, I'm working on Wall Street and I have to deal with prejudice. I mean, you know, so I should be compensated because of the inconvenience of prejudice that I have to deal with. Think about that.
Anywhere you go to the South.
So you think the only qualification is to suffer prejudice in the United States? It doesn't matter if you were here.
I believe we should look at it and saying that those who suffered, who came as slaves here, deserve more than anybody else. They suffered more than us. But I said Africa were colonized, and we in Africa as well suffered. I don't mean that I'm coming from Africa, I am claiming the same right like Bobby.
Yeah, but a lot of the Africans participated in the slave trade, which is another inconvenient truth that I brought to the forefront of these YouTube discussions. Okay, I just look now, they're equating chattel slavery with colonization as if these two things are the same. You got to stay on your same land. First of all, colonization only lasted less than 100 years. We're still suffering from the same issues stemming from slavery and 100 years of Jim Crow and the last 30, 40 years of over incarceration and police targeting that we're dealing with now. Now, that doesn't mean we haven't been successful, but we're still dealing with it. And some of our people are not as well off as the rest. Let's keep listening.
Or like his children. What do we call my child born here in America?
Okay, listen, we're going to come back to what we call them.
Yes.
But right now, I want to talk about the benefits.
Right.
All right. So now the next thing is this. Again, like I said, you have to accept the fact that we're now benefiting from these racist practices. And even if you didn't ask for them, and even if you're uncomfortable admitting it, history shows that whenever people accept relief built on injustice, the bill always comes through later with interest. And pretending otherwise doesn't make us moral. It makes us dishonest. Okay? Now, many of us voted for Donald Trump. Many of us who didn't vote for Donald Trump still support these aggressive ICE and DHS tactics. But regardless of where you stand politically, we cannot live in denial. We cannot pretend this is not racial targeting. These are millions of illegal immigrants, undocumented people in our country. And they estimated there's about 14 million illegals as of 2023. And of that whole population, okay, there's a portion of people from Europe and Canada. Some say anywhere from 500 to 800,000 people born in Europe or Canada, or in the past estimates that are undocumented or illegal. And yet we don't see ICE parading them around and breaking into their cars and raiding their homes or snatching them from their workplaces, not in the numbers that we see these other folks. So let's be honest about what this is. This is racial targeting, okay? All right, and we just have to deal with that. And there's really no way to getting around it. Now, the question we have to ask ourselves is, why is this targeting so obvious? You understand? Why is it so obvious? Why Black and brown immigrants? Why the raids in certain neighborhoods, certain workplaces, certain communities, while white illegal immigrants move quietly, untouched, and largely invisible? Is it a coincidence or is it by design? And these raids are not simply about enforcement. They're about signaling. They're meant to reassure a very specific audience that the racial order that they feel slipping away can still be enforced violently, publicly, and without apology. Black and brown bodies are made public examples of, while you got white illegal immigrants, by contrast, are quietly ignored or absorbed and overlooked. You had Donald Trump basically said he's going to give protection status to white South Africans. Now, the contrast is not accidental. It tells you exactly who the policy is meant to comfort and who it's meant to intimidate. And once you understand that, the larger story comes into focus. This kind of selective targeting only makes sense if you accept the belief driving it and the idea that America was meant to belong to white people. And that demographic change represents what they see as theft. And that belief didn't appear out of thin air. It grows out of the modern white nationalist fantasy one that insisted the United States was designed as a white country, it's for white people, you see what I'm saying? And white Europeans, and they're gonna take their country back, all right? And that claim sounds confident when it's shouted out online or repeated on slogans, but the moment history is taken seriously, it collapses. And that's where we have to go next. Because to understand why this fantasy keeps resurfacing, we have to be honest about what America actually was. In recent years, you got these white nationalists, they've begun arguing openly that the United States was intended to be this white ethno-state. Their claim is simple. America was founded by white Europeans for white folks, and the country has drifted away from the original racial purpose. And this, and they point to the race of the founders, and they selectively quote documents that insist that the demographic change represents betrayal. And that argument sounds confident, but it does not survive contact with facts. America was never a white country, neither in fact or by design. When the first Europeans arrived in America, and I'm talking about the Vikings, okay, this land was already populated by millions of black and brown people who lived here for thousands of years. Indigenous civilizations existed across North America long before Europe ever imagined crossing the Atlantic. And this land wasn't empty, and it definitely was not white. And Europeans did not build America alone. They did it, they didn't build it on untouched land. They arrived, they displaced the native population, and then
at the heart of
oh no, the sound. That shit. You guys hear the sound now? Oh no. Let me know if you can hear the sound now. If you can hit if you can hear the sound, hit the #1 button. If you can hear the sound, hit the #1 button. All right, we back. Now, before I get going good, you know, we got these people. We got some, Dennis has a tethered wife. How much did it cost you to traffic your wife to America? She gonna put you in jail. That's what you need to understand. We're gonna call the police on you. But again, let me explain something to you, family. I understand that you all don't like some of the things. All you foreign blacks, you don't like some of the things. You all say that I'm gonna get deported. I'm from Mississippi. That's where my family's from. My family's from Mississippi. You gonna send me back to Mississippi? You understand? Somebody is sat up here and said that all my kids, what they say, them 2 black ass sons that I got, y'all say that they're foreigners too. Their mama is from the 9th Ward of New Orleans. You understand what I'm saying? And so look, why are you so mad? Because I'm telling you the truth. You understand what I mean? Why is it that you don't like the truth? Huh? Well, explain that. Now, it's funny that you all, and I'm talking to you black folks, you immigrants, I want you to understand something. You folks have been calling us akatas. You've been calling us slaves. Hell, y'all call us some of the worst names that worse than some of these white supremacists. And the minute we say, hey, you know what though? We're going to delineate from you all because we're tired of you all tethering to our community. Now you mad. And see, this is why we call ICE. Somebody put the ICE hotline up on the chat room. Please put the ICE hotline. See, you making it, I'm trying to be objective here. I've been doing my best to say, hey, rooting for ICE to send these N-words home is bad. I'm trying to sit up here and try to help black folks find their humanity. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm doing my best. Okay, I'm doing my best so they won't start laughing when I start putting these immigrants crying and, you know, getting jacked up and sent home. You see what I mean? I'm doing the best I can, but y'all making it hard for me. You are some of the most ungrateful people. You come over here, you reap the benefit from living in black communities. You use up the welfare. You come from countries where people shit in holes. I'm talking to you, Nigeria. I'm talking to you, Ghana. You're shitting in holes in Nigeria. Austin Holloman said that. I ain't going. I'm not going. But this is what you did. You come to our country and you talk bad about our culture. You say we don't have a culture as you're dancing to our music and talk about yo, 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 with your hat to the back like you were from Brooklyn or something like that. You listen to our music. When you go other countries, you try to pretend like you're Black American. And the truth is, and I hate to say it, a lot of Black Americans are happy that you being sent home. Most Black Americans didn't vote for Donald Trump. They voted for, you know, the lady who would wash the greens in the tub. They didn't want you to go home. But when you're disrespectful as you are, and look, I wanted to be your brother, man. I wanted to be cool with the Africans and the Caribbeans and all that, but you all are some very disrespectful people. And you make it hard to like you. That's why you had to leave your home country, because the people there didn't like you. And now you come over here to the United States and we don't like you. I'm looking at the reports from the papers and these different, the Jamaicans said you can send all the immigrants here you want, but don't send those Haitians. The same thing the people in the Bahamas said. You can send you can send us Ukrainians, you can send Venezuelans, don't send them Haitians here. Y'all don't even like each other. And you come up here and you wonder why Black Americans have developed the attitude we do about you. Now look, again, I'm truly your best friend. I know my people. Let me say it like this. I know foundational Black American people more than most people in the world because I deal with foundational Black American people, have done it. Got a grandma from Mississippi, my mama from Mississippi, my ex-wife from the Ninth Ward of New Orleans in Mississippi. We moved out to California. I know Black people, man. I'm just telling you, went to the blackest Black college in the world, Grambling State University. Speaking of which, anybody who want to check my degrees, look, I didn't go to school in Haiti or any of those. I went to school off I-20 between Shreveport and Monroe. Okay, that's what one of my schools is, and the other one is in North Baton Rouge, South Baton Rouge, Louisiana, right over by Scotlandville. You got to cross the hump, and that's where my law school is. Okay, you can find my schools easy. You just got to take that spur. You can't just keep going up I-10. You got to pass right before you get to LSU, and you just go right. That's where you get my degrees. I didn't get mine from Haiti. or none of them other schools. I'm a real lawyer. I can show you mine. You can call the registrar's office right now at Grambling and Southern University. And then the other school is off of St. Charles, uptown New Orleans, called Tulane. The white people let me go there. They wanted, like, you were a special colored Negro. All right, come on here and do some environmental. So I went there. Okay, I know it's a lot going on the internet. A lot of people are being exposed, you know, for degrees that they said they had. That ain't none of my business. I don't talk, you know, I'm not messy. Uncle D is not messy. I just want y'all to know I'm not messy. I'm not a messy person. Okay, I'm not. In fact, I'm not messy, but I see things. You got people fighting each other on the internet, going on people's broadcasts, talking about kissing booties and, you know, sucking things. I mind my business. You understand me? I'm good at minding my business. I just be looking out the window. Oh my, looking out the YouTube window. That's what's going on over there. Ooh. Anyway, like I said, if you know, you know. But bottom line is, let's go ahead and get back to this broadcast. I had to take that point of privilege. Look, man, you ain't got to like what I say. Okay, you don't have to like what I say, but what I say is true. And I'm not going to tell you anything that's not true. And and if I do, I'll admit that I was wrong. That's the type of person I am. Now, shout out to everybody who's contributed to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. Okay. And what I'm going to do is, again, as I said before, Black Americans benefit. Okay. Black Americans benefit from the overt targeting of these immigrants. And look, let's go ahead and start the video footage. Y'all hit the number one button. Let's keep it popping.
Back when he was running, and then I shifted maybe a few years ago because traveling to New York, conversations I would have with Democrats was more about me being oppressed and me being.
Can you all hear that? Can y'all hear me? I need to know if you can hear this, cat. I don't think I can.
Texas, and I go to Nashville, and I go to
the number one button if you can hear clearly.
It was more about opportunity, about business,
Let's move on to the next.
How do we structure?
Well, this brother's basically said he's in the barbershop
mindset,
saying how it is. But look, let's look at all the videos of people being targeted.
Why am I being detained?
Do you have any identification, ma'am?
I do have an identification, but why are you detaining me?
License or also operate a vehicle?
Oh no, hit the number one button.
Yeah, but why am I being detained?
Can y'all hear that?
I'm being detained. Like, why you stop me for?
Man,
why did you stop me for?
Give me a minute. Give me a minute. We're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna come right back. I got to get this sound together. Y'all hit the number one button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll be right back.
What's up? Welcome to the broadcast. This is Uncle D.
People wash their ass in the tub, Kamala Harris.
You were tuned in to Uncle D. Black man talk, pull up, homie, take a seat. Don't be a shadow watcher every day. You learn something, then you earn something. Let them know and drop some money in the plate. It's getting cold, ladies, talking ratchet. There's a king here, grab your coat, zip your jacket. Keep quiet for a second, close your jaw. Turn it Spurling, this ain't Furling, know the law. Talking Constitution, pushing pins when he shootin', give him that. Masculinity, just for the record, sprinkle that. You can keep your cat, gotta cut it. Only cat he rubbing, gotta love it. I call it Molly Buddy. Gotta vote your interest, voting earns. Presidential, this is for the money that I earn. When you gon' learn, my people, that evil mixed with evil. No matter what you're doing, baby, this ain't equal. Sometimes when you're special, you get hated. The test is for the best, you're damn right, my people made it. Uncle D, Blizzard King, you've been served, gotta notice. Now black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you've been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you've been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you've been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now.
Hey man, I'll do what I do.
Somebody need to whip your ass. Get up and whip him, sweets.
Hey, don't be putting the money in my hand all rough.
Take your ass out here. You buy you a Floby and cut your own damn hair from now on.
She washing color green in the tub.
She washing.
She don't know that we don't trust.
We don't trust her.
She ain't even one of us. Washing green in the bathtub.
Nah.
She ain't even not one of us. washing collard greens on the tub.
Yeah,
She's washing collard green in the tub.
she washing collard greens.
She don't know that we don't trust. She ain't even one of us.
Not one of us.
Washing green in the bathtub.
Yeah,
She Indian, not one of us.
not one of us.
Washing collard greens on the tub.
I know how to make a mean collard greens. In fact, people used to ask me to make greens for them for Christmas. One year, I had so many that I had to wash that we ended up washing them in the bathtub. So I am not playing around.
And I am not lying to you that I would make so many greens that I'd need to wash them in the bathtub. I'm telling you the truth.
She washing collard greens in the tub.
She washing.
She don't know that we don't trust.
We don't trust her.
She ain't even one of us.
Not one of
Washing
us.
green in the bathtub.
Yeah,
She Indian, not one of us.
Not one
Washing
of
collard
us.
greens on the tub.
she wash it with some Dawn, let it flow. Put some dial on it, Doug butter soap. Give Doug a little dose, make it last. Collard green smelling just like ass. It's probably cause she get it from her mama. Not no FBA recipe, be honest. Sound like pretending you're an Indian. Cosplaying, you lying like you're innocent. TLC said, baby, no scrubs. Obama called us a bunch of thugs. But one thing about us I love, we ain't eat no greens from the tub. Hell no.
She washing collard green in the tub.
She washing.
She don't know that we don't trust.
We don't trust her.
She ain't even one of us.
Not one of
Washing
us.
green in the bathtub.
Nah.
She Indian, not one of us. Washing collard greens on the tub. She washing collard green in the tub.
She washing collard greens.
She don't know that we don't trust. She ain't even one of us.
Not one of us.
Washing green in the bathtub. She Indian, not one of us.
Not one of us.
Washing collard greens on the tub.
Yeah.
People wash their ass in the tub. Kamala Harris. You don't know black person, black woman to spell black man worth his salt clean them goddamn greens in the tub. The most you do is clean that kitchen sink out, put a plug at the bottom, and then wash them greens in there. That's what you do.
Collard green in the tub.
And then after you wash them the first time, then what you do is you take the little middle vein out of them and tear them off from each side, and then you clean them again.
She Indian, not one
With your
of us.
nasty
Washing
self.
collard greens on
That's
the
how I
tub.
know you're faking it. That's how I know you're faking. That's how I know you're faking it. I spent all day clean. You didn't spend no goddamn all day clean no goddamn greens. Stop lying to me. I clean greens my damn self. My grandma had a garden in the backyard. I had to pick them goddamn greens. It was right next to that peach tree that she would pull a damn switch off and whoop my ass when I was out. Matter of fact, she'd send me back there to get the goddamn peach tree switch, and I better not come back with a small one. All right, mic check, mic check. You guys let me know if you can hear me clearly. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Can you all hear me clearly now? Is it clear? Is it coming in clear? I need to make sure we coming in clear. Let's go ahead and try to play some more of these videos so that I can clear this thing up and make sure everything's coming in clear. If you can hear me clearly, hit the number 1 button. We're gonna get back into what we were doing. Let me know.
May you present it?
Why am I being detained?
Do you have any identification, ma'am?
I do have an identification, but why are you
Driver's
detaining me?
license or also operate a vehicle. Do you have any identification?
He's detaining you because
why
you're a
am I
brown
being
person.
detained?
You're being detained because he's suspicious because you're a Latina woman with an accent. That's why you're being detained. Okay. Go ahead and hit the number 1 button. Make sure we can hear clearly. Again, we're talking about. I'm proving to you all that these black and brown people are being targeted, and even though we benefit from it, it's still a reality. Okay.
I'm being detained. Like, why you stop me for?
Why you stop
Why
me
did
for?
you stop me for?
It's all just be verification.
I understand. I do understand, but why did you stop me for?
Reasons it can be justified after or
I'm
in the area.
okay. I understand that, but
And that's the Standing.
But why am I doing
on your way, man?
What am I doing that make you stop me? Why? Because I'm brown?
Ma'am, if you do
Is it because I'm brown?
Check it out.
Yes. Would you like to say yes? Yes.
I understand that, but why am I being stopped? Why am I being stopped? I'm gonna get you fucking paid
need
too.
to verify
Why am I being stopped?
So we can.
I do understand that, but
I think you understand it. With cooperation,
yes.
and we'll be able to get you.
Why did you stop me? That's what I want to know. Why? Because I'm brown? That's why?
Don't do it, baby.
Then why you stop me? Because I'm not doing nothing illegal. I'm not doing nothing bad. I am not doing nothing.
Being in America and being brown or black is illegal. And that's what foundational Black American people have tried to tell you all, that even something as simple as walking while black, okay, can get you harassed. Let's look at some more harassment, okay? Hit the number 1 button.
She's telling him like his name ain't Will, but they still get his ID.
Shout out to all the Black immigrants who thought that your accent and your spelling of your last name would, cause for the police and law enforcement to go easy on you, because at least you're not one of those Black Americans. So here you go. It's the same thing that you relied on to keep you delineated from us is now allowing or giving the law enforcement, ICE, clues as to who to target. Let's keep pushing. Just hemming him up. Look at that. Look at them Nike. You got them Jordans on. Oh boy, what's that? Is that the 93s? He's gone. He's gone. Okay, he's out of here. He's back to Senegal or wherever he came from. You understand? He's out of here. Now, clearly, many of you all have seen these videos. I've seen plenty of them. Here's another one.
What's up, officer?
How's it going?
Where we at?
This. What's that? Where we at?
Where are we at?
No, don't use our slang, sir. Where we at? Don't try to use our slang, sir, like it's 1990s area rap. Okay, don't use our stuff. Use your own stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you tell them this location? What are we doing here?
Where we at?
I'm just chilling.
Trying to pretend like he had a Black American accent. Where we at? Then it came out when she, what do you mean? Where are we at?
At my job in the Uber, and this lady just pulls over, and she's like, are you a U.S. citizen? In a parking lot at work. That's the officer lady. And they just shot somebody right now.
Yes.
In Minnesota.
Yes.
Imagine that. Are we in Germany?
What they're doing.
Why are you guys doing this?
You tell me, sir.
Why are you guys going around just asking people like at work whether you...
Because they're doing an immigration crackdown. ICE is targeting Black and brown illegal immigrants. That's why, sir. Shout out to Blue Bag. This is what's happening. And we foundational Black Americans, us Akatas, us Jareers that you all call us, because we know you Somalis said, look at them, they don't have fathers. Well, you know what? We might not have fathers, but we have country. And you don't have a country. See how ugly that sounds? You don't like it when it's reversed on you. You don't know who you're dealing with. We the king of capping on people. All right, let's keep listening.
The U.S. citizen.
But again, I'm trying not to be ugly. I'm not going to sink to that low level, even though you all are saying, bad things about Black Americans. We're not going to sink that low. We're not going to call you light bulb heads. I would never do that. I just started using the term tether. And the only reason I use it is because it was on national news, and now it's part of the public, it's part of the lexicon. Okay, and that's the only reason. All right, we're not calling y'all names. You all been calling us cotton pickers for years, right? Haven't you? See, I'm kind. I'm a kinder, gentler YouTuber. Okay, that's why I'm kinder and gentler. I don't make up stuff. But this is why you're being targeted, because you're Black.
They're not. Are you guys not supposed to be patrolling the border?
Do you want to answer the question or not?
Why would I answer you? Where's your warrant?
Your warrant? How you know all your rights? How you know all these rights? How do you know all these? Who's been giving you free legal service, sir? Where you been getting this free legal service from? Where's your warrant? You supposed to be patrolling the border. What committee have you hooked up with? Huh?
So you do whatever you want.
You can record.
They're gonna snatch you out of their car.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy though, right?
It's not
like
crazy.
You guys leave the border and go harass people based on their skin color?
Yes, that's what we say they've been doing. You didn't read were you not there during Black History Month? Did you not hear what was going on when they talk about Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman? That's what we do. We've been trying to tell y'all, but what did y'all say? Or just work harder. I have 3 jobs, work harder. That's what you told us. So I'm gonna tell you, is working harder gonna help you right now? Because you at work right now. Maybe if you work, tell her I'm gonna work harder and she'll let you stay.
Ain't that a shame?
No,
Are
it's
you
not.
doing this to everybody or is just black people?
No, black people.
Come on
Hold
now,
on
you know
a minute. Did he say black people? I thought y'all said you weren't black. I thought you all said you were Somali. You need to make up a mind. You need to pick a struggle. Either you're gonna be Somali, you're gonna be black. Okay, because we tried to make y'all black, but y'all didn't want to be black. Now all of a sudden you're black. Let's move on to somebody else. Yeah, we got to get on up out here. Let's move on to some more people. And let's see what else we got to hear.
Agents left him hurt and hospitalized. That man, who was born in Liberia, calls it a rude awakening.
America is the place of dream. Equal opportunity.
Crying. Look at him crying. Let me explain something to you, brother. Some of these white people like to see you cry. Okay, they take pleasure in watching you be in pain. You're not helping nobody crying. That's not being, that's not it. What happened to all that tough talk you have for Black Americans? What happened to all that? You're so big and bad when it comes to Black America, you start talking. Tell them what tribe you from. Tell them, don't cry now. Sir, go ahead.
Go right.
I mean, he cried bad. His lips, he cry. You cry bad. You cry like that. They beat you that bad. You cry like that. You lucky they didn't worse. Let's go.
Names. Based on how I got treated yesterday.
How you treated?
Ubali spoke to that man and shows us the video of the controversial confrontation.
Cell phone video shows the encounter between Emmanuel Saki and federal agents outside Family Dollar in Brooklyn Park.
Started saying, "Oh, whose car is this? This car is coming to register as somebody named Joseph." I'm like, no, this car is registered in my fiance's name.
Saki, Liberian-born, naturalized U.S. citizen, says he showed the agents his driver's license, his name, his photo, proof of who he is.
Ask me, can you give more proof?
They knew who you were when they saw you, sir. They knew you were a Black African, sir. Okay, trust me. I'm a foundational Black American. They can look at me and say, "No, not that N-word." Telling me the sound. Is the sound bad? Is the sound bad? Y'all can't hear me? Y'all can't. Oh man, the sound is tripping. Hold on a minute. Yeah, give me a second. Let me fix this sound. This sound is tripping. Well, hear me. Let me know if you guys can hear me better. You say it's good now. The sound is better now. It's buzzing a little. Now you can hear me. Now we're gonna have this bootleg sound because I'm not working on my high-powered sound system, but you all should be able to hear me clearly now. Hit the number 1 button if you can hear me clearly. Okay, so it's gonna be a little buzz. All my people we got a lot of people in the chat room. Do we really have 1,900 people in the chat room? This must be YouTube playing with me again. How many people do we have in the chat room? I refuse to believe that we got 2,000 people in the chat room and I haven't even got the broadcast going good. How many people do we really have? Somebody give me an actual number. I refuse to believe that. 1,900 people. Let me see how many likes I got. That'll let me know. Hold on a minute. Uh-oh. Let me see how many. Yeah, we don't have 1,900. We got 325 apparently. I need y'all to get the likes up. Hit the likes up. But anyway, yeah, it says 4,271. That's just ridiculous. But anyway, let's keep looking. Again, family, we're talking about the fact that black and brown people are clearly being targeted by ICE. It's men, it's women too. Okay, hit the number 1 button. Let me know if you can hear.
Hey, chill the fuck out, bitch. Chill the fuck out. You ain't gonna do nothing. Chill the fuck out. Don't. Hey,
no. You gotta go. You got to go.
Fucking touching me. Fucking touching me. Enseña la cara, perro. Enseña la cara.
I mean, you can scream and holler all you want. You got to go. Okay, that's what's happening. You got to go. You got to go. You see what I mean?
Yes, okay. Yes, okay. Yes, okay.
Look at that. There, so you out there with no shoes on. How they catch you with no shoes on, man? Look at that. Look at that. Bro, she got that spread eagle stance where she dropped down in that horse stance and she is holding the line. Baby, you got to go. They're going to get you in that truck. They're going to get you in that truck. Now, see, if you all had been kind and been 100%, if y'all hadn't been talking all that shit, excuse my language, talking all that stuff, the foundational Black Americans, we would have been all the way with you. But you all had the nerve to disrespect the indigenous people of this land, the people who done it longer and done it stronger than every other group of people. The nerve of you all. And now you're sitting there suffering. Now you're getting the bottom of your feet scratched up, thrown in the back of a white van, headed to who knows where. You see what I'm saying? Let's keep listening.
It's a fucking woman.
They don't care.
It's a fucking boss.
You don't think black women got treated like that? It's an effing woman. They don't care about that. They don't care about none of that. All they see is black or brown, and they're going to throw you to the ground. Okay? They're going to make you, the black is going to be blue, and the brown is going to be on the ground. They don't care about that. Somebody say, what's a woman? Y'all cold-blooded. Y'all wrong for that.
You know exactly what the fuck I'm telling you. Yes,
Where are your strong black men at that you all say that the Black American community doesn't have? Where are your strong black men? Remember y'all say we don't have fathers in our community. That's what y'all told us. See, let me just be honest with you. A police officer thought it was a good idea in Watts, California in the 1950s to pick a fight. And we burned the whole city down. They call that the Watts riots. You see? The Los Angeles police thought it was a good idea to beat up a man named Rodney King, and we waited. We let justice run its course. And they let those cops off. We burned the city down. You understand what I mean? So they learned very quickly, we're not the ones. You see? You all are not built like us. You're not built for this country. There's a reason why black people are so quick to sniff out racism and why we quick to do what we have to do when we perceive injustice. Now, I'm not saying this is injustice. If you're here illegally, you got to go. All right? But what I'm trying to explain to you all is you all are not like us. You never will be like us. You don't have a heart like we do. You all not built like we do. We stood here. We fought it out with these white folks. And we have an understanding. That does not necessarily mean we don't like each other. Somebody keeps saying there's no sound again. This is crazy, man. Hit the number 1 button. Hit the number 1 button if you can hear me. Hit the number 1 button if you can hear me. I need to know. All right. Hit the number 1 button. All right. Somebody said they can hear me clearly. All right. So, I mean, that's just my whole point, man. If she's a woman, and if you feel like it, I mean, I'm just saying. Now y'all saying it's getting muffled. The sound, they say the sound is trolling. Yeah, well, I'm gonna get closer to the screen. Let's keep moving on. Listen to this. Hit the number 1 button. Let's keep it pushing. Let's move on to the next video. All right, we'll go to the next video.
Get the fuck on my bus.
Don't run. Don't run. Work harder.
Work harder.
Yo, get him!
Screaming out. You gotta go, brother. You out of here. You going back to wherever you came from.
Grab the horse.
ICE agent, which don't surprise me because we've seen black ICE agents, we've seen Hispanic ICE agents. What you don't see is you don't see any white ICE agents hunting down any of the 580,000 undocumented European immigrants in this country. We got over 500,000 undocumented European immigrants, yet I ain't seen a single video, not one, of any white ICE agents terrorizing any of these European neighborhoods. None. Not a single one. I'll give you $10 if you give me one. Show me one video. You won't see it because they know they can't pay white people to hunt down other white people, unlike paying black people to hunt down other black people, unlike paying other Hispanic people to hunt down other Hispanic people, unlike paying Somali people to hunt down.
I don't know about that, brother, because last I checked, they were giving $50,000 bonuses, sir. So somebody put the ICE hotline up in the chat room because I think there's some brothers out here, some brothers from, you know, Ohio and Alabama and Mississippi. I think for a $50,000 bonus, I think for a $50,000 bonus and $15,000 every month, 6 weeks on, 2 weeks off, I think you can get a lot of black men out here to call this phone number, okay, and sign up to work for ICE. I'm just saying, you know, it's hard out here. It's hard out here right now, okay. Some of these brothers would be more than happy to help fight this lawlessness and help restore law and order to America, especially since you all have called us a bunch of akatas and jariers and cotton pickers. I don't think there's any love lost. I mean, y'all said y'all not black anyway, right? You want us to work harder so these brothers can work hard at being ICE. That's what I'm thinking. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Hit the number 1 button, and let's see what else we got going on out here in these streets.
From here? Where's here? What country? Was you born here? Was you born here?
Pulling up on you at the Walmart. You know what I mean? Pulling up on you at the Walmart.
What country was you born in?
What country was you born in?
This is out of control. Masked men, 2 of them, descending on a woman with no warrant, judicial or administrative.
You mean like masked men like the KKK or something like that? Descending on a woman? We've seen this before in history.
Administrative, and a barrage of questions for one reason only: she looks Hispanic. This is not law enforcement. This is harassment and prejudice and discrimination dressed up as law enforcement. Not even in the most relaxed interpretation you can give of the recent Supreme Court ruling that says that ICE can detain people based on the color of their skin or their language and their location. Yeah. A decision, by the way, that will go down in history as one of the most unjust and unfair decisions out of the bench. Not even in the most relaxed and loose interpretation of that can this be justified. And yet she is targeted by Trump's private police.
That's not his private police, sir. That is the Department of Homeland Security. That's ICE agents. They've been around for a long time, sir. Okay.
Because she's brown, because she's Hispanic, she probably has an accent. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the result of the dehumanization process that this administration has planned and executed.
You keep saying this administration and this and that and so on and so forth. Let me remind you of what the great Barbara Jordan said, because, you know, she was a Democrat.
It's opened the borders in 1965. But the real betrayal.
Keep trying to blame, you know, keep trying to blame the Democrats, right? But let me let you hear what happened when Barbara Jordan was asked to investigate. You all know who the Honorable Barbara Jordan is? Let's listen, because we can't just blame one.
It happened in 1994, because that's the year a black woman tried to warn them, and they silenced her. Her name was Barbara Jordan, a civil rights icon and the first Southern black woman elected to the House of Representatives. She wasn't a Republican. She was a Democrat royalty. President Bill Clinton appointed her to lead the U.S. Commission on Immigration Reform. Her job was to look at the data and answer one question. Is immigration good for the average American worker? The Democrats expected her to say yes. But Barbara was honest. She looked at the numbers and she saw the truth. She released a report that shocked Washington. She concluded that low-skilled immigration was directly hurting the most vulnerable Americans, specifically black men without college degrees. She said, immigration policy must put the interests of the American worker first.
Black men, right? It hurts black men. That's what she said.
She recommended cutting legal immigration by 1/3 and cracking down on illegal labor to protect black wages. So, what did the Democrats do? Did they listen to this black woman that they appointed? No. Barbara Jordan died in 1996. And the moment she was gone, Bill Clinton buried her report. Instead of cutting immigration, they expanded it. They chose cheap labor over black livelihood. She gave them the blueprint to save the black middle class, and they threw it in the trash.
So again, how can we keep blaming the Republicans? How can we continue blaming the Democrats when the first person that I know who commissioned this was a Democratic president, Bill Clinton, and a very famous civil rights icon, Barbara Jordan, who came to the conclusion that immigration, both illegal and legal, is bad for Americans, specifically black Americans. So is this really a Trump idea? I mean, why do we keep shifting it off? I mean, whatever you like, okay? And again, as I told the black people at the beginning of this broadcast, having these people deported is good for us. Now, are black and brown people being targeted? Hell yes. Now, I want to show you something else that's going on. This is what they're doing now. They are literally, they're not even waiting for you to stop. They're running into the back of these people's cars, hitting the cars, and forcing them out the cars. Listen, look at this. Look at this. See that? They didn't wait for them to stop. The ICE is literally ramming people, forcing them to get out the car, right? Look at it. Look at that. Look what ICE is doing, man. You may not think, is some of you all like, this is not racist. Is this proper police tactics right here with no warning? Look at that. And then they leave the car in the middle of the street. I'm just saying, family. I mean, look, we reap, as black Americans, we reap the benefit of these policies, but we got to accept the fact that they are, you know, They're racially targeting these black and brown folk. It's true. And see, what we have to do is just accept the reality of it. Let's not run away from the truth of what's happening. Even if
There he goes. I missed the big explosion. It was first before all this.
Okay, let's keep on looking. Somebody said we don't know the circumstances, what's happening. It could be something else to it. How much more do you want to see? At what point law enforcement is ramming the back of people's cars? How much more do you want to see? And this cat right here is from CNN. Listen to what he had to say.
You sit here and accuse ICE agents of being Nazi, Gestapo, and white supremacists when they are enforcing law. You just insinuated that they're apparently recruiting others. You said they're recruiting others, and then it's a dog whistle for others to then apply to that.
Absolutely.
Second of all,
I mean, you know, we knew since the FBI did the report on law enforcement that it's been saturated by, you know, these racist dudes. Man, we know that. I mean, why are we still having these silly discussions? Huh? Why are we still having these silly discussions?
Man, Buzz.
So you got a brother taking an Uber, and the police or ICE pulls up behind the Uber, and they start chasing him. And the Uber driver is like, "Look, man, just tell him we friends or something. We cousins. So listen to this foolishness. Listen to what the brother says."
Man, Buzz.
Where's brother from ICE?
That's them behind us?
Yeah. You're a friend of mine.
You a friend of
I'm
mine?
a friend of yours? Boss, I'm supposed to be going to work. You getting me pulled over by police, bro.
Man.
Close your window.
I ain't closing my motherfucking window. I got a warrant, nigga.
Oh.
You getting me by police, man.
You see they pulling you over? Give me your license and registration right now. Soon. No, give me your license and registration. Soon, I said soon.
What happened?
Put the vehicle
Let me get out.
I'm out. Brother's like, I'm gone.
I'm a night chair employee. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I ain't dealing with none of that. I'm out of here.
I got the wrong version. I don't know what's going on. Let me get the fuck out. I get from my supervisor while I'm late. Oh, shit.
In it? I ain't in it.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, I got it.
I'm on place to be in this country, sir. I have an immigration status.
Is this for immigration thing?
Black dude. You see that? Being targeted. I mean, you know, I'm sure there's some white illegal aliens, but I don't see these folks getting paraded around the internet. You understand what I'm saying?
Hey, I have an immigration status. No, you don't, sir. I do, sir.
We wouldn't be talking to you
right now. I do, sir.
Okay, sir, you know what?
As foundational Black Americans, we benefit from having these Black immigrants and these Hispanic immigrants and these Asian immigrants, whether they be legal or illegal, deported. It wasn't me that said that. It's Dr. Barbara Jordan, not Dr. Barbara, the Honorable Barbara Jordan, in a report that was commissioned by Bill Clinton. You understand what I'm saying? So let's deal with it.
I do know. He said he could actually if
All right, ma'am, I'm gonna have you.
And they will verify what you're telling us.
No, I'll stay back though. I do want to make sure he's safe, you know?
All good, thank you.
Yeah. Shit, y'all look like some immigration people. Shit, like y'all need to be deported.
Y'all. This is a foundation. This is a Black woman. This is a foundational Black American woman pointing out the fact that y'all, you're not Black American, nor are you a heritage white American. You're not a foundational Black American, nor are you a white American who can trace their heritage back for centuries. You understand what I'm saying? But again, you know, it's a job, I guess, right?
Y'all look like y'all need to be immigrated.
She's right.
What y'all listen, Mexicans?
Uh-oh. Now, I'm gonna run this one video and we're gonna go ahead and get to work. You guys make sure you hit the #1 button and let me know if make sure you can hear this. Hit the #1.
Like I shifted, you know, I worked the phones for President Obama back when he was running. And then I shifted maybe a few years ago because traveling to New York, conversations I would have with Democrats was more about me being oppressed and me being a victim. And now when I travel to Texas and I go to Nashville and I go to these Republican enclaves, it was more about opportunity, about business, right? About how do we structure, our environment and our mindset to have opportunities to make money and reinvest in our communities. It was more about opportunity as opposed to the conversations I'll have in New York with the Central Park liberals about how I'm oppressed and I'm a victim and I should feel. It was all about feeling. It wasn't about action, right? So that's kind of shifted my mindset. And I'll divulge this. You won't be happy, but I had a lot of people, black females, voted for Republican for the first time in the last election because they didn't like where it was going about telling children who they are and all these liberal policies that don't make any sense from a value standpoint to us.
Which includes illegal immigration. Okay.
So that was one of the key things for me.
Or illegal immigration.
Me, like just voting for that party didn't really match with my value set, right? Spiritually, also economically. I didn't like how, during the previous administration, they had a flood of illegal immigrants coming in. I was seeing people in Chicago. I would travel to Chicago and folks in those neighborhoods.
All right. So I think I've established the fact that it's not just black Americans. First of all, I mean, everybody else's group is looking out for themselves, right? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with black Americans looking out for our group. All right, there's nothing wrong with that. I gave you a whole bunch of folks from the past who talked about the effects of immigration. It talks about how when you get a bunch of Hispanics up here and you see what they do, you get we thought our Caribbean and African brothers were going to come over here and side with us, and they didn't. They called us Jareers and Akatas and all these horrible names, saying things like we don't have culture and very disrespectful. So here we are 60 years after the Hart-Celler bill law was passed, and now they're being deported. Okay? Now they're being deported. And the thing about it is, brothers and sisters, I need you to understand, yes, it's racial. It's very racial. I don't see them deporting a bunch of white folks. I've done plenty of broadcasts about this. Now I've looked at hundreds, probably thousands of videos, and there's only one or two incidents where I can actually be able to put together something on white folks being deported. So it is a racial policy. Okay? It just is what it is. Now, again, once you understand the larger story, once that comes into focus, then you have to try what's up with the selective targeting. And it only makes sense if you accept the belief that what's driving it. You got a lot of white folk who feel like, their country is being stolen from them. And it's not all of them. I'm just talking about the ones that I'm talking about. Okay. And in recent years, you've had a lot of these white nationalists. They've begun openly arguing that the United States was intended to be an ethno-state, or they want an ethno-state, or whatever. And I spoke about that earlier, before Europeans showed up. It was a bunch of Native Americans and dark people here. So that's just food. Then they brought Africans over here. You see what I'm saying? So that's just silly. All right. Now, this fantasy. The other thing we have to understand, and this is, black people. We look at how our people are responding to this, and you hear, you don't hear hysteria. You hear our history. We start naming the same things over and over. We talk about slavery. We talk about Jim Crow. We talk about lynchings. We talk about Native genocide. We talk about Asian internment and police violence. Not because we're stuck in the past, but because we recognize this pattern. This isn't an emotion, it's memory. Okay? It's not, it's experience, it's data, it's the conversations we had, letting us know that this is how the country is. Now, we tried to tell folks that this is what America was about. This has been our experience, and nobody wanted to listen. They just told us to work harder. They told us we were being victims, and now they told us that, things have changed. Slavery was a long time ago. They told us to get over it. And now they haven't experienced it firsthand. And here's the thing, we're benefiting from it by having these people removed. All right, this is selective enforcement. And we've seen law and order applied in only one direction. We've watched violence justified as policy and policy justified as necessity. So when the raids hit the same communities, the same neighborhoods, the same bodies over and over, we don't need conspiracy theories to understand what's happening. The targeting looks obvious because the pattern is old. And that's why pretending this is random or neutral or race blind insults the intelligence of anyone who actually knows American history. Now, what's really going on? In my opinion, right? What I see happening is a lot of white folk feel like, especially white men, they feel like they're losing control, right? Well, let me point it out like this. The first person that I saw get shot is the young lady, Miss Good. And she's symbolic of what's happening. A lot of white women are lining up behind. You see, they're lining up to support these folks. You see, and what does that show? They're pushing back. They're calling out this entitlement. They're calling out what seems to be, racism from Donald Trump. And a lot of white men is getting behind it. They're rejecting the lie that people of color or immigrants are a problem. I don't personally think they're a problem. I just think it's good for Black Americans to have them gone. You understand? You see? But the thing you got to understand is that the white patriarchy or white male power, whatever you want to call it, they've been very good. They need two things. It depends on two things: controlling race and controlling gender. Even if you look back to English common law, they had something called coverture, right? And that was imported directly into the American colonies. White women had no independent legal identity. They couldn't own property, right? They couldn't control their wages. Everything they had belonged to their husbands or their fathers. You see? They literally existed politically apart from their husbands and their fathers. And the patriarchy was, it wasn't just a cultural thing. It wasn't just something we volunteered to. It was the law. And the system began cracking when women's suffrage happened in the 1920s. It weakened further during the Civil Rights era. And when racial hierarchy itself was challenged, it accelerated dramatically in the 1960s and the 1970s when white women gained access to education, credit, careers, and their own sexual autonomy. And what we're witnessing now is an end stage consequence of that shift. And so, the thing we have to look at, man, it's gotten so bad that recently there's been this thing that's popped up called AWFUL. And I hate to even talk about it. AWFUL stands for Affluent White Female Urban Liberal. Okay. And the term is open. It's openly hostile by design. It's meant to shame and isolate and discipline white women who protest this immigration enforcement and these police violence and this racial targeting of these Black and brown immigrants. And according to reporting, conservative commentators have described these women as the scourge of polite society. They're literally, literally angry with affluent urban white women. They call them awful, blaming them for the downfall of America, blaming white women for undermining order, and frame them as dangerously out of control. You have one commenter even celebrated the label after a white woman that, the lady who got unalived, basically used it as a punchline. And that tells you everything you need to know. You understand me? Think about that. And the white women who support this racial hierarchy, they're being praised as virtuous. So that's something. This is what's going on right now. So not only is it racist, targeting Black and brown people, but it's also sexist. And the thing you have to understand, whatever you think about the political situation here in the United States related to immigrants, when men begin to view their own women as enemies, that's not politics. That's not even strategy. That's just straight up failure. That's at that point, legitimacy has collapsed. Real power does not need to threaten, shame, or intimidate. Power that is legitimate is followed voluntarily. So when men start calling their own women traitors and enemies, what they're really saying, whether they admit it or not, is simple. We no longer have moral authority over them. And for centuries, white male dominance depended on a silent agreement that white women would accept male leadership, reproduce the racial order, and socialize children into that hierarchy. And that was the foundation, not the strength, not excellence, solely compliance. And the moment white women reject that role on their own terms, authority, and when that authority disappears, what replaces it is not leadership, it's resentment. And that's what you see happening right now. That's why you have this awful, that's why you have all these folk out here calling white women often or traitors. You see? Think about that. So, you know, this is what we're dealing with right now, man. And again, this is whether you like it or not, whether it benefits you or not, let's just deal with the facts on the ground. Okay, family? Now, another thing that's obvious that people keep missing is that this racism is not just overt. You know, well, let me say it like this. Overt racism is ugly. We can agree with that. It's uncomfortable. It's socially unacceptable. And yes, it should be checked. And nobody is arguing otherwise. But overt racism is not the most dangerous form of racism. See, racism doesn't just live in people's mouths. Like, this is a bunch of people talking stuff right here on the internet. You see what I'm saying? You couldn't do this back in the 80s and 90s. If you ran up on somebody and heard some racial epithet, whether you call an Irish person a Mick or a Jewish person, they have names, and the Italians had names. They would call them all sorts of names, wops, and it was horrible. But you had to see that person, you see? And of course, black people being misnamed, you had to see them on the street, you see? But nevertheless, that's overt racism. Okay, and as I said, racism doesn't just, shout out to Yaya's kids, and racism doesn't just live in people's mouths. It moves through institutions. It operates quietly through processes and policies and outcomes. And so when people get stopped and detained and questioned and searched, or they get underpaid, they get overcharged, they get not denied or abused because of how they look or how they speak or where someone assumes they're from, especially through policing and housing and employment and education and immigration enforcement. That's systematic. And that's nothing new here in America. You see? Racial power here has always been enforced by the state. Slave patrols in the 1700s and 1800s, the Fugitive Slave Acts in 1793 and 1850, segregation enforced law, redlining, backed by federal policy in the 1930s through the 1960s. Right down to modern enforcement follows that same playbook. And that goes double and twice for ICE. Okay? So in other words, what I'm trying to explain to you all is that the language changes, but the machinery stays the same. And, you know, you even got religious figures getting in on it, civic leaders blessing it. And that's how power gets cleansed. That's how it gets cleansed and justified. All right. Now, the truth is simple. Racism works through badges and courts and zoning boards and banks and prisons and schools and detention centers. It's not just a belief. It's not just word of mouth. And this is where people get uncomfortable, because while many white folk would gladly check overt racism, they still reap the benefit of the quiet racism, the systematic stuff. They call, you know, they'll call out someone who uses the N-word in public and then go back to a job that pays them higher wages for the same work when they're less qualified than a person of color because that person might be from India or somewhere else. That person gets less money, even though they're more qualified. You see, and that's why these business owners want them in the first place. Now, again, you know, the thing we have to understand is, you know, let's talk about the response from Black people, because, well, and I'm talking about foundational Black American people, what white folk call heritage American. And of course, foundational Black Americans are heritage Americans. But what you see from Black people, or foundational Black people, what you're seeing is being badly misunderstood. Okay? We see the patterns. We recognize the patterns. We're not shocked. We're not reacting emotionally. Matter of fact, I would argue that we're resting. Okay? All the foundational Black American people in the chat room, type "we're resting" in the chat room. Type "we're resting." Okay? And look, there's a reason we're doing that. Many of us have reached the same conclusion that Dr. Francis Cress Welsing reached decades ago. This system is driven by fear and not strength. Welsing argued that white supremacy is fundamentally rooted in the existential anxiety and fear and loss of dominance, loss of control, loss of hierarchy. Not domination in the sense of chains or revenge, but domination in the sense of no longer being on top. And when people of color appear to be advancing or even just surviving, that system experiences this threat. And systems driven by that kind of fear, they don't de-escalate. They escalate. They would rather destroy than surrender control. And that's why Black people aren't rushing into this fight. Fighting panic doesn't cure panic. Engaging emotionally only confirms the system's paranoia. At this stage, confrontation is not a strategy. It's participation. That's why we are resting. All the Black people type "we're resting" in the chat room. You see? So what you hear from Black folks is you hear restraint. You hear us distancing ourselves. And when I talk about Black people, I'm talking about foundational Black America. Because again, I've already established that we're benefiting from the deportation of these Black and brown immigrants and these Asian immigrants. Can we all agree that there'll be more jobs for foundational Black Americans? There'll be less, because all they do is put them in our neighborhood. All the people in Chicago will tell you they put them in our neighborhood. They utilize our resources, which is why a lot of Black people voted Republican this time. And so even though we reap the benefit, most of us are not gloating behind it. We're watching Black bodies being hemmed up and thrown in the back of vehicles. We're watching brown people being handcuffed. We're watching that, but we're still maintaining our distance. See, we have a sort of weary clarity, because once you understand what white supremacy has already been given, it's been given enough power and resources to destroy the planet multiple times over with all sort of nuclear weapons and environmental devastation. You also understand something else. This danger is internal. Not an external enemy is required. Racism in this country has never depended on individual hatred alone. It's always dependent on systems repeating themselves until they exhaust their own logic. What we're witnessing now is not innovation, it's repetition. Old scripts, old fear, old overreactions. It happened at the end of Reconstruction, when they had a bunch of so-called uppity Blacks who'd taken over Congress. You had Black people in the White House visiting with the president because they were members of Congress. Black folk, Black business owners. You see what I mean? Many of the HBCUs that were founded or started during that time period. And then after that, you had a backlash. You see what I mean? After the brothers came back from World War II, Red Summer, you had a backlash. And so we've seen this. And so we're resting, all my Black folks type "we're resting" in the chat room. We're resting. It's not apathy. It's a diagnosis. It's recognition that until white society finishes going through what it's going through, there's nothing black people can fix or referee. So we step back. Not because we don't care. I don't think any human being with a heart watching these folk get hemmed up and separated from their families, it's not that we don't care, but we've already seen where this road goes. All we can really do is hope that in this latest tantrum that these folk are throwing, they don't burn the whole house down or whatever. And hopefully they'll hurry up and finish this cycle. You understand? So this is where we are. And this is what we're dealing with. Now, I want to take the opportunity to open the chat room up because I'm sure there's some people who got we got a lot of folk in here who have a lot to say. I'd love to hear some of you folks come on in here and talk to me. The screen is hot. I'm a fake lawyer and everything. Somebody type fake lawyer in the chat room. Matter of fact, speaking of which, please, if you've been involved in a car accident, give me a call at 713-229-0770. And I'll be more than happy to help you. I'm licensed in multiple states. I look forward to helping you. We actually have some folk in here who have contacted my office. I appreciate that. And, allow me to help you with your case. So if you've been involved in a car accident, give me a call. It'd be a pleasure to talk to y'all. Okay, now y'all go ahead and do that. In addition, fake lawyer, right? Y'all type fake lawyer in the chat room. Come on in here and talk to me. Y'all act like I'm Rashad Ricky or somebody. Join the conversation. Matter of fact, I'm a Hall of Fame. Matter of fact, y'all type Hall of Fame lawyer in the chat room. According to Southern University Law Center, you can go to the Southern University Law Center right now. And my photograph is hanging up in the Hall of Fame for all the young lawyers to see, or wannabe lawyers, law students to see. Somebody type Hall of Fame lawyer in the chat room for all these haters. Hall of Fame lawyer. Get it right. You can call me a lot, but you can't call me not a Hall of Fame lawyer. Go tell your lawyer, the one that did your divorce, got you in the house sitting by yourself and still billing you. Your wife ran off with all your money. I bet your lawyer is not a Hall of Fame lawyer. I come from a long line. My daddy was a lawyer. My wife is a lawyer. You see what I'm saying? You understand that? My great-great-granddaddy, George Washington Jones Sr., was a lawyer in Mississippi, went to Fisk College. Russ College in Mississippi, was licensed in Mississippi and Kansas. Helped found the town of Nicodemus, Kansas. Was renowned as one of the best lawyers, black lawyers at the time. He had white clients and black clients. So not only am I a lawyer, when your family was over there in Ireland, looking for some potatoes to eat, and when your family was down in Sicily starving, my black ancestors were here in the United States helping make this country what it is. So any of you all who want to come in and chat with me, you're welcome to come in. The link is in the chat room. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and let y'all see that. Come on in. I'd love to talk to you. Let's talk about, and the conversation for tonight is ICE targets black and brown immigrants, ignoring the 500. It really should say 500 to 896,000 white illegal immigrants. It's true. And the truth is, black folks, you do benefit from these black and brown people being targeted. It's true. Yes, we are on the side of racism right now. Racism is helping us win right now. Racism is helping black people win right now. We get all these immigrants out of here. They get them out of our neighborhoods. That's beneficial to us. It's not me that said that, is it? You heard the Honorable Barbara Jordan say that. She herself was a lawyer. You understand me? I'm just saying, I want to get these people, where y'all at? Now look, if y'all don't come in here and talk to me, you all don't come in here and talk to me, then I'm gonna put the membership only. All right, all you all in here saying these mean things, you got to come in here and talk. Come tell me where what I'm saying is inaccurate. Come show me where we have these aren't black and brown people being targeted by ICE. Come show me that. You understand? Come on in. And if you're not, then just be quiet. Just sit here and take your talking to. That's what you need to do. Just sit there and take your talking to. All right. Shout out to everybody. Make sure you represent where you're from. All my foundational Black American brothers and sisters, man. And look, it's some Black immigrants in here. You understand this? You don't want all you people from Ghana. You have a problem with those Nigerians coming to your country. You trying to put them out. All right. Cam up. If you want to come in, you got to cam up. We got to see your faces. You Jamaicans and you other folks from the Caribbean, you have a problem with with the Haitians coming to your country. All you Mexicans, you have a problem with the Hondurans coming to your country. So what's the problem? What issue do you have with Americans sending you home? And why is it the foundational Black Americans have to pick up this racial mantle all the time and run with it? You see, this is my whole point. You understand? Y'all hit the number one. Come on, cam up. If you want to come in, you got to cam up. You got to cam up if you want to come in. You want to have this conversation, and I'm going to let you talk. You want to have this conversation? Come on in, KG. What's going on, sir? How are you today?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. What would you like to have?
Yeah, I just disagree with you. You're saying he's ignoring white immigrants. That's what you're saying, right?
Well, what I'm saying is we do not see the targeting of white immigrant enclaves. What we do see is the targeting of Black and brown immigrant enclaves. Would you disagree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
First of all, he's not. Okay. Matter of fact, I do agree with that. Yes, I agree with that. He's targeting Black and brown people.
That's my point.
But what the point is, most of the people that came over here are Black and brown. So this is not a race issue where he's like, oh, those are Black and brown people, let's go target them. Most of the people that came in here to this country over the last 4 years when Joe Biden was in office were Black and brown. So it only makes sense that Black and brown people are the ones being the focal point of the deportations.
Okay, so do you know how many Black and brown people they estimated came to, and it was also Asian, so let's be fair. Do you know how many people they say came up during the Biden administration?
Some say 10, some say 20 million.
I think the estimate,
I'm gonna say 15 million, just to play the safe.
Okay, I think the estimates are 2 million came, and there's a total of 14 million. Do you have any reason to disagree with that?
No.
Okay. So again, my question is, well, it's not even a question. My statement is that as I look at ICE and I look at the videos and I look at the stats and I look at the numbers, it is patently obvious to me that the enforcement of the immigration laws on the books, the enforcement is targeting Black and brown immigrants. Now, you agree with that, right?
I agree with it, but it's like,
okay.
Of course, go ahead.
Okay. So you agree with the premise. What you're saying is that, and a better argument that you would have had was if they said, well, no, I agree with what you're saying, but he's basically putting the medicine, he's putting the cure on the cut. That's what you're saying. I'm not going to put it all.
No, that's not what I'm saying either. What I'm saying is everybody illegal is getting targeted. There was I just watched the video and the dude was pointing out white dudes from UK all over from across the country, from across the globe, white people getting shipped out the country, packed up and shipped out.
Well, where's the deported? Video? You have the videos for us to see?
No, I don't have a video right now. It was like a TikTok video, whatever. But it was a black guy, and he's on there, and he's like, dudes were getting caught for drug smuggling.
That's great, but I've only seen about 1 or 2 actual videos. I don't see them being paraded around. Now, here's the other thing. Let me finish. Here's the other thing. Do you really think that Donald, I'm just talking to you. Let's just be honest with each other. Let's not have a debate. Let's have a conversation. Do you really think Donald Trump is targeting white people to send them home?
If they're illegal, yes.
Okay, so you think that Donald Trump and his administration, who openly said that we're going to allow South African Afrikanese or Afrikaans come to this country as refugees, you think that they don't want white people coming to this country? That's what you're saying? Maybe I should ask.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they don't want black and brown people coming here either.
Mm-hmm.
There is no special preference of Donald Trump.
And look, man, I'm trying to let you get out your ideas.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody in this chat room or anybody who is going to look at this video that is going, you're going to convince that I'm not targeting black and brown people. Now, what you
it's a whole bunch of
no, brother. What you're saying sounds good, and it sounds like, oh, well, Dennis, they're just targeting all these people that came up. And I'm telling you, brother, it's obvious that they're targeting black and brown people, and this country has a historical precedent for that. Now,
that's just the optics. You have Democrat-ran cities where they're refusing to operate with ICE, and then when the ICE goes and pick them up, now all of a sudden they're targeting black and brown people.
No,
are they targeting them, or are they just enforcing the law?
Okay, why aren't they going to these enclaves? Because I got an enclave of Europeans right around the corner from my house that are immigrants.
And they're illegal immigrants. Is what you're telling me?
They are clearly immigrants.
Are they illegal immigrants?
It doesn't matter if you're legal or illegal. Have you not seen? Did you not? Let me put these videos back up for you, sir.
But this is America is a country of laws. How doesn't it matter if you're here illegally?
Let's take a look at this.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up a video too.
Where we at?
Where what?
Where are we at?
Where are we at?
Yeah.
Is he illegal? Sir, is he illegal? Is he illegal?
I can't see nobody. I see a police officer.
See the side of this brother's head right here. Is he illegal?
Okay, yeah, it's kind of blended in with the car. Okay. So what about him?
No. What do you know about this person right here?
I don't know nothing about him. I don't know him.
All right, and what do you think this ICE officer knows about this person?
I don't think he knows anything.
They don't know anything. But what do we do know? What can we confirm from looking at this person's phenotype? Huh?
It looks like
ICE agents left him hurt and hospitalized.
Carrying out his duties as an ICE officer.
Calls it his duty as an ICE officer. And what about this person right here? What do you think he is? What does he look like to you?
He looks black.
He looks black. And what else? Is he legal or illegal?
I don't know him.
Okay, so you don't know him. Do you think the ICE officers who beat him up and threw him in the back of the truck know him?
Where U.S. citizen left hurt and hospitalized after ICE agent violently detained him.
You're cheating now. You're reading.
No, I'm not. I was just reading the headline because I'm not.
I said you're reading. Let's get you another one. Let's go ahead and get you another one in here.
Where's the proof of him getting detained? Do you have a video of him getting beat up? Because I'm not believing nothing that these people say.
I played it earlier. I can show it again if you don't believe it.
Oh, yeah, please. Let me see the ICE officers beating him up.
You want to see the ICE officers beating him up? Somebody type 1993 Jordans in the chat room. Let's take a look at that.
Hold on, let me I'm gonna go to my big screen so I can see it. It's on my phone right now.
Did you see that, sir?
Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna go to your page right now.
There you go. Looking at that. You see that?
Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna go to your page right
now. I'm showing you beating them up, sir. You wanted to see him beat them up.
Hold on, just give me a second. I can't see the video. Give me a second.
Okay, well, let's go on back to some more people since we've proved that.
They're not beating him up. They are not beating him up. And plus, you don't even know what he did to even receive that kind of encounter.
Yeah, and that's my point, sir. You got feedback coming in. You got feedback coming in. You got to turn your phone off. Sir, you got to turn your phone off, sir. You got feedback coming in. Let's move on.
My bad, I had it playing in the background.
Let's move on to the next one. Anybody else who wants to come in, feel free to come in. Okay? Feel free to come. I want to hear what you have to say, because my whole point is this. They are targeting people who are black and brown.
Hey, chill the fuck out, bitch.
Yeah, chill the fuck out.
Chill the fuck out.
Now, let's ask the
You ain't
question.
gonna do nothing. Shut up.
Oh, so approaching the ICE officer, interfering with it. What's happening here?
Now, what I want is she illegal or illegal?
What's happening here?
What's happening here is that is an ICE agent. Is this woman legal or illegal?
I don't know.
Okay, and the ICE agent doesn't know either. So what does that tell you? What are they basing?
What does that tell me? Maybe that tells me that she's not cooperating.
Why? Okay, so you said she's resisting.
Clearly resisting.
Okay, what is she resisting, sir?
Maybe she's resisting them finding out that she's an illegal immigrant.
Okay, so and here's what I need you to help me understand.
Yes, sir.
Why did they pull her over in the first place?
Maybe they have a retainer out for her and they're looking for people. Maybe let me just ask a question. Is the job of ICE not to go and find illegal immigrants?
The job of law enforcement is to have probable cause to detain and arrest someone.
That ICE is held to those standards?
The job of law enforcement, which ICE falls under the scheme of law enforcement, is to arrest and detain people once they have probable cause. Now,
so ICE operate under the same laws as local police?
ICE is law enforcement, and they operate as state actors enforcing the law. And the question is, what law did she break?
How do you know she didn't commit a traffic infraction?
What law did she break?
How do you know she didn't do a traffic violation?
Sir, what I'm trying, okay, so I'm gonna ask you again. What law did she break?
Maybe she's here illegally.
Okay, maybe you robbed a bank is not, I have probable cause to believe you robbed a bank, sir.
But that same thing can be said about what you're saying about why she's in this position. You don't know why she's in the position.
And the questions that you're asking and the whole reason that I've had you go through this is to prove the point. You're
speculating?
No, just like they're speculating.
That's their job.
They don't have, their job is not to speculate. They don't have probable cause. They don't have reasonable suspicion. All they know is that this is a black body, this is a brown body, and we're going to go ahead and arrest. That's it.
I just have a question. How do you know that they don't know who they got? Like, that's how we know. How do you know that they don't know who they got?
So I want you to listen to yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm listening. Because you show me videos with no context. One woman that looks like a Somalian. There's tons of illegal Somalians here. Mm-hmm. She probably asked for some identification. She refuses, and police have the right to detain you.
All right, so here's the thing, and I want you to tell. I'm gonna just assume you live in a state. I'm gonna just say a state, okay? Let's say you live in I don't know, Ohio. Let's say you live in Ohio, okay? Okay. And you're in, let's say, Dayton, Ohio, and you're walking down the street, and the cops pull you over and say, "Hey, I want to see your ID." What's your response gonna be?
For what?
You gonna tell the cops for what? Why don't you just give them your ID?
I'm asking for what?
Okay, why don't you just give them the ID? Turn around, put your hands on the hood of the car, put your hands behind your back, and now you're subject to a Terry stop.
I wouldn't just give them the ID because I have a right to ask questions.
You would resist arrest, and now you gave me No. See, here's the problem that a lot of folk don't understand. Police are, until it's them having to deal with it. You see? They're violating people's rights. And the only thing that they know is that you fit a profile. Now, what profile do you think you fit?
The profile of an illegal immigrant.
Okay.
Maybe you talk with a heavy accent. Maybe you're wearing a garbs. Maybe you don't speak our language.
So
there are clear signs of somebody that's an illegal immigrant. There's a black guy over there speaking African. He doesn't know the language. He can't read the signs. He can't communicate with anybody. He's probably an illegal immigrant. And then for you to go and investigate that and find an illegal immigrant, which is your job as an ICE agent, now that's breaking the law.
How did they know all that before they spoke to him?
How do you know they didn't know that?
Yeah, well, see, you're asking me to prove the negative, sir. How did they know you weren't a bank robber? They just saw you in the wrong neighborhood there in Dayton, Ohio. How did they not know? Is it their job? Is it your job to prove your innocence?
Yes. If they pull you over, hold on, wait. Let me ask you. You just said they pulled me over and said we want your ID. Now you're saying that they asked me for a bank robbery.
I'm saying you're walking down the street, you're minding your business.
It's happened to me before. Police have pulled me over. We got somebody. You look like somebody that's a fit this profile. Let me get your ID. We need to run some checks on you.
Okay. So what I'm saying is you had rights, right? And the only thing, and what was the reason that they said that you fit the profile?
They were looking for somebody in the area that fit the description that I was matched.
What was the description, sir?
The clothes that I had on.
Okay, it was the clothes. What they didn't.
Yes, use. That's the thing. The car officer told me.
They didn't indicate.
No, he didn't. It was a white cop too. He didn't say there was a black guy I'm looking for. No.
Were they looking for a white man of your height, age, and build?
Obviously not. If I fit the description.
Yeah, and that's the thing I'm trying to explain to you, brother. You are in here, you're trying to prove something. You're trying to say this is not racially motivated. And I'm telling you that no, you can't cut me off. And I'm trying to show you, explain to you, yes, it is. And that's fine. As long as we deal with the reality of it. See, you're trying to convince me of something. You're trying to convince all these people that the obvious is not true. You're basically trying to, no. You're trying to convince us that water is not wet. Okay, stop it. Because see, we're not going to be delusional anymore. We're not going to pretend as though what we see with our own eyes is not happening. Clearly, we don't see white enclaves, Europeans. There's plenty of them up there in New York. There's plenty of them in Miami. You want to find some illegal Russians? Go right down there to Miami. There are plenty of them right down the strip. We clearly see what's happening. What we're not going to do is be delusional about the fact that they're targeting black and brown and Asian people. That's just the reality. And as long as we accept that reality, okay, fine. We just have to reap the benefit and I guess, look in the other direction. I can't sit here. I mean, if you maybe you're one of those people who don't think racism exists in this world. You think racism is made up? Is that what you think?
I think racism don't stop me from doing nothing.
Do you think racism exists in the world?
Of course it exists.
Okay, well
there are black people that are racist.
Huh?
I know tons of black people that are racist.
Okay, well, I know black people who are bigoted. I know black people who are prejudiced. Racism, depending on the definition that you use, depends on, it's basically, it has a lot to do with systematic racism. I know some bigots that'll call you the N-word. They got Confederate pickup trucks and they got tattoos on their arm. But if you got a flat tire on the side of the road, they'll come help you out, irrespective of your color. I got some racist folk that I deal with. I mean, my God, we have some of the best conversations in polite company. You understand? So what I'm trying to explain to you is there's a difference between racism and bigotry. What we're dealing with right now is racism. Racism is system-wide. You got it. If you don't interrupt. Racism is system-wide. Okay, bigotry and prejudice is up close and personal. When you prejudge people, when you think you're better than people. I do know black people who are prejudiced and bigoted, but in order to be racist, you actually have to be able to run the system. Now, there are some racist people in other countries where they dominate the system. I'm sure if you go to Uganda right now and you see what Idi Amin did to the Indians, he threw them out. If you go to South Africa and you see what the Indians, or what some people would say the South Africans are doing to the Afrikaans, some would call that racism, but that's a black country dominated by black people. That's where racism exists. When we talk about prejudice, when we talk about bigotry, that's something different. Would you disagree with my definitions of racism, bigotry, and prejudice? Or do you agree?
No, it's all the same thing. You're trying to separate the two.
That's why they have different words for them.
Okay, so for instance,
no. Let's go back. So now that we understand that there's a difference between racism, bigotry.
I don't agree with that.
Well, you don't have to agree. There's a dictionary. But I'm going to go from the different. I'm going to go from the defined definition of what it is. And I understand that folk may disagree, but that's the general understanding. Clearly, what we see happening is racist. Okay, it just is what it is. It's systematic targeting. It's not the first time we've had to deal with it during Jim Crow. We dealt with it during redlining. It's part of the ethos of this country. It just so happens at this particular time, foundational Black Americans are benefiting, at least in the short term, from the capture, arrest, and deportation of Black and brown and Asian or whoever else illegal immigrants. That's it. Do you disagree with that? Or do you agree? You have yourself on mute. Go ahead.
Like you just said prejudice is, you have to be able to run the system. We just seen.
That's not what I said. I said prejudice is up close, is person's own personal feelings and how they feel. That's prejudice. You can be prejudiced and be powerless and not have the ability to run a system.
Okay.
Prejudice basically is the word. It's prejudging someone. Bigotry is I think I'm better than you, for lack of a better word. You understand what I'm saying? Racism denotes system-wide.
Okay.
Who may not even be prejudiced, who may not even be bigoted, but they why you keep hitting your head, man? Because
you're making these arguments and they don't make sense. I'm from Chicago originally. I'm about to tell you.
Not make sense to you, but
I can tell you why it don't make sense.
These are the commonly understood definitions of these words.
I just looked up the definition of it right now.
Okay, this is not something that we're making up. Okay, these are the working. I should not have to educate you and debate with you at the same time.
I'm literally reading the words right now out the dictionary. They say the same thing.
Okay, great. So you brought up the fact that Black people can be prejudiced, Black people can be bigoted.
Racist. Well, there's racism happening in Chicago. Okay. I'm from Chicago originally. Okay. Brandon Johnson, he wrote policy to discriminate against white people to not hire them. That's racism. It's a Black ran city.
And let me explain something. Like I said before, in Black dominated countries like Uganda and South Africa, some of those people who are non-Black would agree that racism exists. But genuinely speaking, here in the United States, we don't hold the level of power.
In Chicago, they do. And they are actively discriminating against white people.
Generally speaking, we do not hold the levels of power in this country. Would you disagree with that?
Disagree.
You disagree so you think that Black Americans hold the majority of the levers of power here in the United States?
Yes, they just don't handle it well.
So you're saying out of the 100 senators, how many of them are Black? Do you know?
Not that many, but I'm also from a Black neighborhood where you're actually clown. Black people don't promote you being in politics. Black people don't promote you being the police. Black people don't promote you being the governor.
Sir, you're rambling. You said that Black people hold the majority of levels of power in this country, and I disagree with that.
You got Black people saying
generally speaking, generally speaking, we do not hold the levers of power in this country. And so because of that, it's impossible for us to be racist. We could be bigoted, we could be prejudiced, right? And there's a difference between those two terms, and that's why they have different words. Okay, and look, you got to calm down. I get you're trying to prove a point. You got some strongly held beliefs. That's great. My whole point was very narrow and very simple. Are these ICE, DHS raids, are they targeted against Black people, brown people, Asian, and otherwise people of color? And I think you agree with yes, it is, right? With the caveat, well, earlier you said, well, but the problem is, Dennis, they let all these black and brown people into the United States, and that's why they're being targeted. Isn't that what you said when we first started 15 minutes ago?
Yeah. So they're not targeting black and brown people. They're targeting illegal immigrants.
Yeah, but you agree, but there's illegal European immigrants too. We don't see them.
They're getting deported.
They are not getting deported in the numbers that these folk are getting deported. That's what I'm saying. Hold on, no. When have we said Trump got on the news and said we're going to eliminate TPS for people from Ukraine? When did he say
from
that?
Where?
From Ukraine.
You mean the war-torn country that we just helped fight a war?
You don't think that Haiti's bad right now? Huh?
Haiti is bad on their own.
You don't. Okay, so because
it's
how
a difference.
Okay, but hold on. So the question is, temporary protected status extends to people who are from places that are horrible. Do you agree? You think what is worse, Somalia or Ukraine?
Somalia.
Okay, and he what? What did he do to TPS status of the people from Somalia? He revoked it.
Yes, so and we all know why he did that.
Why is that?
Because they're committing fraud in the mass. They're online telling about they were here to.
Here's the thing: you can find a reason. I'm gonna bring you back in. Okay, you can find a reason if you're looking for one. There are people from Ukraine right now. Have you not heard of the mafia, the Russian mafia, those Ukraine? Have you not heard of that? You know all the crimes they commit?
Yes, and I just seen a woman.
So we're not, let me finish. Okay, I'll bring you in, I'll bring you out. I'm trying to tell you, man, I'm gonna let you speak. You've been speaking a long time. I'm gonna let you talk. Okay, I'm gonna let you talk. All right, because there's a lot of people out there that have the same opinions you have. I'm just trying to make a small point, and for the most part, you agree. You said what I thought you said, and you said, "Hey, we're targeting these people because this is who's here," and I'm okay with that. All right, that's a great argument, and I could respect that. Okay, but the fact is, the whole point is we are targeting black and brown people, and I want the black people to know that it benefits us to have these folks sent home. And I'm okay. You can say, hey, this is heartless, this is whatever, but it is what it is. We don't deal with delusion on this page. Send them home. They don't like us anyway. You understand what I'm saying? Immigrants from Africa call us Akata, they call us Jareer. The Latinos, they got this anti-black racism thing with, what is it called?
Mejor la raza.
Mejor la raza. Send them home. You don't like me anyway. You didn't come over here. You didn't help. You go places like Los Angeles, and you got these immigrants targeting black people home, running them out of California. The Asians, we know that they've been quite racist against us. So send their ass home. But what we're not going to do is pretend like we don't see what we do see. They are getting sent home. They are getting targeted. And foundational black Americans have to accept the fact that, yeah, that's some racist shit that's going on right there. And I benefit from it. And I need you all to be comfortable with the fact that we have made a deal with the devil. Now, can we agree with that?
No.
Do we not want to send their ass home? Hold on. You want them to stay here?
Oh, yeah. Get them, pack them up. Pack your bags.
Okay, so what do we disagree with?
We disagreeing with it not being about racism. It's illegal immigrants. You don't belong here.
Look, you telling me the only thing
I just told you a whole
Playboy. The only thing you sat on here and disagree. You I'm gonna let you walk away with the fact that you don't think these you think if it was a bunch of illegal white immigrants over here, you think Trump would be targeting them too. That's what you're saying.
He's actively doing it.
You think that where are the videos, sir?
Of course, you're not going to find videos on it.
My email is Spurling.
I'll find the video.
Hold on. My email is spurlingdennis@gmail.com. I want all of you all to send me all the videos of the white people being sent home. I want send me the videos of all the white people. Sir, what's your name? KG. I'm going to unmute you, KG. I want you to send me all the videos of all these white people being sent home. That's your challenge. I want
yes, sir.
All
I'm
right.
gonna email you.
I'm waiting. I'm gonna wait.
Okay, I got you. I'm gonna email you and I'm gonna send it to you because they just did another big sting.
Don't send me one goddamn video.
No, I'm gonna send you articles.
I want to argue. I want videos. I want white people being hemmed up. I want to see little white feet being on face down on the ground with handcuffs on the back, knees on the back of their neck. I want to see blonde hair, blue eyes, white.
And I'll send you the number of statistics.
I want to see it, and I want everybody else in the chat room in order to prove. And if you can show me as many videos of white people being arrested by ICE and put in handcuffs and sent home, I will say this guy was right. KG, formerly from Chicago, was right. Trump is targeting white people. Trump
just deported a lady for
he's sending as many white people home as he's sending black and brown people. I challenge you to see. I want to see it.
Yep. He just, like I said, he just deported a white lady for calling some lady out.
One white lady, one white lady, KG.
Sent her out over a petty crime. Deported her ass.
People, I want to see them.
It's not racism.
No, sir. I want to see them and their little dogs. Everybody going home. I want to see it.
Yep.
Back to Canada. Take your ass back to Ukraine.
I got you.
That's what I want to see.
I'm finding the video right now, and I'm gonna send you articles. I'm gonna send you the number of white people that's been deported, and I'm gonna send you videos.
I need all of it.
I'm gonna give you all the evidence. I know you on your lawyer tip. I'm gonna give you all of it. Now, but I do like you though. I love what you do. You are an excellent black man. You are black excellence. I will give you that. I love your page. I love what you do, but I just don't subscribe to the whole victim mentality thing. You know what I mean? I don't believe in white supremacy because
I'm happy they sending their black asses home.
But I just don't believe in white supremacy.
Bro, this is the thing. I'm happy they sending their ass home. Did you not? Let me let you hear, because maybe you wasn't here earlier. Let me go back to you. See, you running my blood pressure up. Let me get your ass.
No, I love what you do on your page, though.
The Democrats opened the borders in 1965, but she was a Democrat.
That's Barbara Jordan. You know what she said? You know what Honorable Barbara Jordan said?
What'd she say?
She said, "Send their ass home." And you know who didn't and who commissioned this study she did on immigrants? What president commissioned it?
Probably fucking what's his name? I'm having a fucking blank right now. The motherfucker who signed the Civil Rights Act, whatever his name is.
What's his name?
I'm having a blank right now. I'm sorry.
Well, you're referring to Lyndon Baines Johnson, who's from Texas. That's who you're referring to.
Yeah, I think so.
But they were good friends, actually. But he didn't sign it. It was somebody closer to age. It was Bill Clinton. So Bill Clinton commissioned a report asking Barbara Jordan to determine whether or not having both illegal immigrants and legal immigrants come to this country was a good thing. And guess what she determined?
Pack your bags.
Well, I'm gonna let you hear it, because I don't think you heard what she said. Listen to this.
Is immigration good?
You said victim. Somebody type victim mentality in the chat room. Somebody type victim mentality in the chat room.
For the average American worker. The Democrats expected her to say yes, but Barbara was honest. She looked at the numbers and she saw the truth. She released a report that shocked Washington. She concluded that low-skilled immigration was directly hurting the most vulnerable Americans, specifically black men without college degrees.
You see that? That's what she
I can see that.
Okay, so is it a victim mentality?
I have one question. No.
Well, I'm gonna ask you a question.
No, it's not victim mentality.
Okay, what's the difference between her pointing out the fact that these immigrants hurt black men without education? And
I mean,
why is it not a victim mentality, I guess?
I mean, according to your logic, she's racist. Because she was, you know what I mean? Like, she's racist. Because she don't want the black and brown people here.
You saying that the Honorable Senator Barbara Jordan, looking at the numbers, analyzing the numbers, and determining that the influx of both legal and illegal immigrants harms black men makes her racist?
Trump said that same thing.
Yeah, that's my point.
So exactly. So if he has the same motivations that she has for getting the illegals out the country, how is it racist? If it's just not good for the black people of America.
No. The point is that who's being targeted, because there are also illegal and legal white immigrants in this country, and I don't see them. But you're going to send me hundreds of videos, or dozens.
Not hundreds, maybe tens.
You're going to send me 10. Okay, you're going to do something now, because everybody knows your name. It is racist when you target a certain group, okay, because of their skin color or because of their ethnicity or religion or whatever. It is racist. Now, if the report said that all of these people coming over here hurts black men, uneducated, black men without college education, but you only target one group, and the only thing that we can see why this group is being targeted is because of the color of their skin, that's clearly racist in its implementation. We'll just go ahead and get the black and the brown and the whites and all them out of here. We'll let the illegal white people stay. We'll just get them out of here, and we'll that's racism, man. And let me tell you something, you're not gonna be able to show me as many white people getting handcuffed and hemmed up and snatched out of their car. You're not gonna be able to do it because
they're not following them around. They're not following ICE around to catch white people.
Slow down. And why is ICE not following the white illegal immigrants around?
I never said ICE isn't. I said the mainstream media is not going to follow them around and show you them arresting white people.
Being made by mainstream. These are TikTok people making these videos. This is social media. These are videos by people in their cell phones. What do you mean? You telling me? No, you telling me that if we saw a bunch of fine, I know you probably like some blonde haired, blue eyed, fine white woman. I ain't mad at you, brother. I'm just messing with you.
I do, especially them cowgirls. I'll be at them rodeos. I ain't gonna lie, man.
They're gonna follow you. But no, what I'm saying is, you don't think if they were hemming up white folk and sending them home like that, you don't think that'll be all over TikTok? That'll be we're victims too. Look at us. You don't think that'll be all over TikTok?
Nope.
And bro, it's not there. Nope. Okay, but bottom line is you have the challenge, KG.
I'm gonna send you some stuff. I'm gonna get on it right now.
I want to see how many videos are you gonna send us, KG?
I'm gonna try to get you like 10.
KG is go ahead, finish.
I'm trying to think of that lawyer term that you got. The 10 present. What do you say when you present evidence?
Exhibits.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you 10 exhibits.
I'm gonna make a show out of it. Look at all these white folk getting their ass sent home. I'm gonna put it out, but send it. Okay. I don't see it. I
got you.
Let me say this, and then I'm gonna let you go. And anybody else who wants to come in,
I appreciate you too.
I've seen 2 in the past 2 years. I've seen 2 white folk get sent home. One was in Canada. He was a dude, and he was living down in Miami. And one white woman, her parents moved her over here when she was a little kid. She didn't know she was foreign. She didn't even know she was from Canada. That's it. I don't see him. And so now after, what is this, a year of this ICE enforcement, I have to come to the conclusion that ICE is targeting black and brown people, and they're ignoring the 500 to 800,000 illegally born European/white folks. That's what I have to conclude. It's not a hard thing to make when you're looking at the evidence. Show me that I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. I want you to be able to say, see, I told your ass, Dennis, that Trump is not a bad person. I'm not saying Trump is bad. I'm just saying I want to see it.
I'm going to send it to you. I promise you. I'm going to send it to your email. What was the email again?
It's right there at the bottom. Don't come back to these YouTube streets without my videos.
I promise I won't.
All right.
I appreciate you, though. Thank you, man, for having me up here.
I appreciate it. Look, like I said, I'm a kinder, friendlier YouTuber. I'm going to let you talk. As long as you talking and we getting it out, cool. I think that he's going to have a tough challenge trying to come up with he said 10 videos of white folk being arrested and sent home. I think he's gonna have I think that would be something that's all over the news. Lee, what's up, brother? Welcome to the broadcast. Good to have you here. Look, I'm just trying to make a little point. To me, it seemed to me like ICE is targeting black and brown people, and they're ignoring the illegal white people. Now the other fella said, "Oh, they just ignoring them because the problem is with all these millions of brown people that came up here, and that's why we focus on." That might be true, but I still don't see them targeting. I still see the targeting based on people's color. You don't know anything about these people. All you see is some folk driving down the street in a certain community with a hijab on their head, and you talk. That's what I see. Show me I'm wrong. Okay. Anyway, what you got to say, brother?
Point is, you ain't lying, Uncle. I just thought I'd check on my uncle.
Yeah. What's up, man?
But again, come on. We got to be honest here. The biggest thing that's happening because of these ICE raids is because it's literally a population blowout. There was so much growth at a point that when it's starting to see an overtake, now it's saying, okay, now we got to get some of your butts home because you have to read us.
Can we agree? Can we agree that Black Americans benefit from these people being sent home?
I'm gonna say yes, because one part we don't talk about that adds to this, and this is a serious thing because we need to talk about all parts of the situation. We've had filed racists.
But say again. Let's not. I don't want to get
all over the place. That adds to this. And it destroys a lot of our communities, resources that could go to us or others that really need. Do I even need to reiterate when we had the whole illegal thing where, oh, you got a card filled with so much money, you got free cell phones, free food, free hotel. Excuse me. I want homelessness at a time.
Let's understand something also. Maybe the Democrats, and look, I always tell people vote your interest. It just so happened that I vote my interest, and that aligned me with the Republican Party for the past couple of years. And it's not that I vote a Republican straight down. I vote my interest, period. I just vote my interest. Okay. A lot of black people voted their interest and they voted Republican. A lot of black people voted their interest and they voted Democrat. Cool.
I'm not on either part of those. I'm just on the part when I recognize this.
Yeah, but
we're the American citizens. We're the American populace, and we've been getting shafted 24/7. Look, I already know. Look, I'm black. We tend to be at the bottom rung. But the other part is we're American. And when you're seeing how a lot of Americans are getting thrown to the side, and then all this other stuff coming up here, there, it creates a lot of tension, hostility, and a level of really.
Yeah. Well, look, we got some people. His name is anybody like we have this dude. His name is Converse 04D. Come on in. You're welcome to come to the broadcast. I invite you to come in. I'm gonna let you speak, even if you disagree. He said basically black people are broke. We've been given millions of dollars and we have nothing to show for it. Come on in. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Don't be shy. Come on in. Just make sure you're ready to cam up. But go ahead, brother. Please finish what you were saying.
There's not much else. Though you are, Lord, I want to ask some questions because I am a little concerned with the housing situations going on.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go into my personal stuff, but I'm just trying to also handle what I can because the point is I'm not trying to go homeless again. Let's just be honest here.
Well, I'm happy you're doing better, and I appreciate your time here in the broadcast. Thank you so much. Again, I think my whole point in this broadcast is we cannot continue. See, people always see themselves as a hero in their own story. And the thing that I want Black Americans to accept is that right now, it's a lot of racist stuff going on. It's a lot of racist targeting going on. And just because we benefit from the racist targeting, that does not give us the right, or should I say, we can't be intellectually disingenuous and pretend like what we see happening is not happening. Clearly, this is racist targeting.
See, you just said one of the most important things, and this is something that gets on my nerves. There are many topics that go to it, but to cover just the main thing of what you just said, when you choose not to notice what's going on and be blind to it, You can't be shocked when you become a victim of it.
Yeah, that's exactly
it's not being negative. It's just calling out the stuff. Look, I care about my people. I want us to succeed. But one thing there's a difference between positivity and negativity. But what I like to put it is there's toxic positivity, and then there could also be positive protection for yourself. Because the difference is this: you have a heart. But last time I checked, who's going to be taking care of you at the end of the day? It's one part of God. There's another person there too. The person in the mirror.
Yeah. See, part of
I want to be like my uncle. Look, I want to be like my Uncle D. Man, you're one of my inspirations, sir. And I want to do my best to actually achieve my goals and be able to take care of myself on a level where if God blesses me with a family, I'm able to give something to them that I never had growing up.
Man, that's a beautiful aspiration, man. But I always say to everybody, all faith, all praise to the Most High. I'm just a humble.
Praises to the Most High King.
Man, I come here every night to try to talk to people from a place of love. And what I don't want is people to be hypocrites. Because see, when we were being targeted racially, doing redlining and Jim Crow, you know, how dare somebody come along and say, oh, it's not the fact that, you know, it's racism. It's just you don't qualify. You see what I mean? And that's just disingenuous. Part of being politically mature, if you will, or astute, is just accepting the facts for what it is.
Yeah.
Let me just say this: us stealing Venezuela's oil is beneficial to the American public.
That's clear.
Let's just accept the fact that if we get a bunch of low-cost free oil that's perfect for our refineries, and we get flooded with cheap oil, that's benefit for the majority of the gas goes down a couple of bucks. That's great for us. Yeah, we still from some other country, or if you want to call it that, or getting it cheap. Oh well, it is what it is. Welcome to
the other thing I find stupid personally. Look, I ain't trying to be mean here to a lot of my people, but I got a question. You're saying free this guy, but last time I checked, how much crap has he done in his country to his own people to make it where when he gets taken down, you got people cheering in the streets, happy? So I got to ask a question. Would you rather, so do you actually want a narco terrorist? You want a narco running about, putting people on the stake just because the guy you don't like in office is active?
Yeah. And that's it. Let's just accept reality for what it is. Shout out to Lee. Thank you so much. If you want to come in, make sure you cam up. You got to cam up if you want to come in. I got to make sure we don't have trolls and stuff like that. So cam up. I'd love to talk to you. Thank you all. And look, you don't have to agree with me. Okay. The people can hear and they can make a determination for themselves. My whole point is that, yes, we have some policy on the books that said people who are legal should be deported. But what I see is the disproportionate targeting of Black and brown people. Now, that one fella came in there and said, well, you know, I agree, it is disproportionate because there's a lot of Black and brown people who came up here during Biden's administration. And that's a valid point. I would agree with that. But my thing is, I still don't see many illegal white people or immigrant white people being targeted. That's it. Now, you can say what you want to say, but until you can show me these 10 videos proving otherwise, and that'll be a good start, you're not going to, the audience is going to look at it and say, man, you're just full of stuff. So that's it. But we got a couple more people in the chat room. You guys got to cam up. If you want to come in, you got to cam up. We don't do black screens. Come on in. Where all these people that call me Spurling the fake lawyer? Where y'all come from? Hit the #1 button. And you guys type Hall of Fame lawyer in the chat room. And if we don't get folks in here and we don't cam up, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up and ease on up out of here. It was a very simple point. Prove me wrong. All you got to do is show me the videos. You'll prove me wrong. You're not going to win this conversation with debate. You got to prove me wrong. I want to be proved wrong. Prove me wrong. But in the meantime, until we get some more folks in here, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to everybody who contributed to the super chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. You have got to you don't owe me anything. You don't need to pay me anything. Like I always tell everybody, if you learn something, I should earn something. That's it. If you learn something, I should earn something. Okay. Now, originally I had this thing at like, you know, this is going to be a 4-hour thing, but I had to break it up. So there's some other parts to this broadcast that we'll continue forward. But shout out to Red Sigma. Thank you so much. FDA, we all got RJRQ3YH. Thank you for the super sticker. My man, Fresh. Okay, so we got another. I'm going to break this up. Welcome, Mr. Black. I'm an attorney. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing well, doing well.
All right, all right. What would you like to add to the conversation? Or here to tell me I'm wrong? That's what I want. I'm wrong.
No.
Big ass is wrong, Dennis. Go ahead and tell me that. Go ahead, get it off your chest.
I don't think that you're necessarily wrong, but like the last caller before, I just want to point out that ICE is targeting white immigrants as well. We're just not seeing it at the same level that we're seeing with Black and brown people. So I don't necessarily believe that you're wrong. I think that you're right. Black and brown people are being targeted, but it's part of the enforcement action, unfortunately, for the Black and brown people that are going to get caught up in it.
So let's go back to what you're saying. You said two things I keyed in on. We're not seeing it. And, oh my God, it's not, I missed your word. Basically, and I'm going to summarize what you said. We're not seeing it, and it's not as frequent. Is that fair to say?
It's not as frequent, right? But that's because most white Europeans enter the United States with visas.
Okay.
So they're not entering the traditional legal route, which would be through the southern border.
They coming over in airplanes.
Right. And then typically when they overstay their visas, they marry someone.
Okay.
They marry someone so that they can receive legal status. And for white people, that's easier for them to do.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's my point. So we know that they're illegal, right?
Yeah, they do. And
if they're married and we know where they are, why aren't we targeting them also? Why aren't we seeing them snatched out of their cars? Look, I'm just saying, man.
We're not seeing them snatched out of the cars, but in some of these interviews, they are being apprehended by ICE in some of their like marriage-based application interviews. So that is happening to white people too.
So I just want to see the videos. I want to prove me wrong.
And that's what I'm saying. You're not gonna see a lot of videos because, like you said, they are targeting Black and brown people because that's primarily who they know.
So let's go back. Let's go back to, and you're a lawyer, and I know you know bringing somebody's past actions in will typically be objected to, because they say prior bad acts are not admissible, right? However, I can use it to prove a pattern. And so when I look at targeting of Black and brown people, I have to look at the Native Americans, the indigenous being removed from their land. When I look at the targeting of Black and brown people, I have to look at the Japanese internment camps. I have to look at the Chinese labor camps. I have to look at the Black towns when we attained a certain degree of wealth after slavery was over. Hell, I got to look at the fact that the Italians were targeted down in New Orleans. They ran them out of New Orleans. And at that time, Italians were not considered Black, but the largest group of people lynched at one time in Louisiana were a bunch of newly immigrated Italians. You understand what I'm saying? I have to look at how the Irish were targeted when they first got here. Did you know that the Ku Klux Klan literally had a war with the Irish? I mean, they were public enemy number one. This is what they were. And so when I say that, I say all this to say, and along with the history of Black people, this country has a reputation and a track history of targeting, we'll just say racially, people who are unwanted racially. And so when I fast forward and I look at that track record, it's going to be very difficult to convince me that our government is not doing the same thing it's been doing, and that is targeting Black and brown and illegal immigrants. And the reason that I don't see a bunch of white folk, and even though you're saying it's happening, brother, we just ain't seeing it. The reason that you say we don't see it happen is because it's happening in the cover of buildings and sterile buildings. But I think we would see that too. I think that there are people who are in those hallways that have video cameras like we've seen before that would film that and put it up on the internet. And I
Not
don't
in,
see, and
not
even
in
though
those situations, not in
with all
those
my
rooms,
heart,
because like they're trying to get legal status too, so they ain't
yeah,
trying to rock the boat.
but
They ain't
I
trying.
want
They
to
in
believe,
those rooms and they trying to be quiet.
yeah, I
And
want to
get
believe
busy.
with all my heart, but I know my country too well. You see what I mean?
Nah,
I know
you're correct.
my country.
You're
I mean,
correct.
so go ahead. Go ahead. What would your response be to that to convince me that you still wrong, Dennis? You're still wrong. Go ahead.
And I can't convince you that you're wrong because you're not wrong. They are targeting people based on their race, and they're targeting people based on, like the last caller said, the languages that they speak. They're doing all of those things.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you a more complicated question. You are clearly a black man. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You are clearly a black man and you live in America, and you probably understand how racism works. And I'm not saying you personally experienced, but you probably know somebody.
Nah, I'm from the South, so yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it.
So as a black man, can we agree, according to what the Honorable Barbara Jordan said in the study commissioned by Bill Clinton, we agree that black people, black men specifically, are the first people who suffer from illegal immigrants and legal immigrants when they come to this country? Would you disagree with that study by commissioned by President Clinton and the brilliant Barbara Jordan came to conclude? Would you disagree with what they concluded?
I agree, but I agree in the sense that illegal immigration can hurt all poor communities. I don't think it's just limited to black people. I think it's across the board. Hispanic American communities are also, but they're the most impacted by illegal immigration in the United States, honestly.
Well, that study is from 1994. But the bottom line is, can we also agree that having these black and brown and Hispanic and Asian immigrants and illegal immigrants being deported benefits black people?
It can, in a sense.
I'm gonna get a yes or no, and you can qualify with something else.
If we as the community pick up the slack for the people that are being removed from the country, and that's doing these back of house restaurant jobs, home maintenance, cleaning homes, we get back into those things, because I think that's where illegal immigration has filled in for black people. Because I know a couple of generations ago in my family, like women were mammies, like that's what they did. They cleaned white people's homes, and that's what we see from a lot of the illegal immigrants.
The menial employment that they take up, if we pick that up, so we go out there and start making $20.
And I think,
hold on, brother.
Go ahead.
So my whole point is this: that's not the only place we benefit. See, if you get rid of the illegal immigrants that are living in black communities, you think the rent is gonna go up or go down?
The rent's gonna go down.
Is that a benefit to us? Less housing costs?
Of course.
If you have a decrease in demand for gas and food, do you think the price is gonna go up or down? Oh, I lost it, brother. Okay. See if you can come back in a minute. I'm gonna let him try to come back in. My whole point that I was making with the brother is that you have less competition for resources. And so because you have less competition for resources, the demand for the resources goes down. So the manufacturers that have to decrease the price. That's my whole point. So black people, as much as we hate racism and bigotry, we have to accept the fact that we benefit from the racist targeting of these illegal immigrants and the legal immigrants. We don't even benefit from any of these folk coming over here. I've said this before, I'll say it again. The United States of America was better when it was a black in a white country. We had the same heritage. And I'm not saying we got along. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that white Americans and black Americans had an understanding. Okay? We dealt with racial issues, but we still came together. We spoke the same language. We worshiped the same God. And I know there's always been people from all other religions. And I'm not saying America's supposed to be Christian. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying we spoke the same language. We shared a similar culture. We played the same game, the same sport. I'm just saying that. You don't have to like what I'm saying. But if we can go back to 1965 before the Hart-Celler Act, right? when black people had made all this progress and we were doing well and we were forcing the United States to live up to its better angels, we were on our way to something more positive. And then you had all these illegal immigrants come in the door, and I understand why it happened. They had to dilute the power of, you know, black Americans. And some of you all are young. You may not know what the civil rights movement did, but it literally turned society upside down. And so you had white folk who were now forced to undo hundreds of years of culture and social structure, and a lot of people were upset. So what did? They start bringing immigrants in to try to replace us, the Mexicans, the Asians, the Africans. But before 1965, you had about 50,000 Africans in this country. The Hispanic population, which was down to like less than 1 million. They had something called Operation Wetback, which took place between the 20s and 30s. They literally pushed Mexicans back down to Mexico, even Mexicans born in the United States. Look it up. Your grandparents will tell you about it. The Asian population was infinitesimal, you see. But when they opened the door and they started letting all these immigrants in, then the culture got diluted. Things got different. Okay, I'm just saying. And so immigration in general has not helped overall. It has not helped black folks or white Americans. And I'm talking about heritage white Americans. I'm talking about the white Americans who can trace their history back for centuries. Okay, I'm just pointing that out. And so now, hey, you know, people say immigration is great. It might be great, but you got to put a hold on it. And that's why the Honorable Barbara Jordan said we need to limit it down. Even legal immigration needs to be limited down to about 1/3 of what it is. And that was back in 1994. And here we are. Who else wants to come in here and tell me I'm wrong? I would love for you all to come in here and tell me that I'm wrong. And I'd like to hear some folk come in and tell me, hey, you know what? You're wrong. You've been wrong. And, you know, and I think that I'm not. But let's get back to reading these broadcasts. The link is in the chat room if anybody wants to come in here and tell me I'm wrong. I'd love to hear it. Shout out to Fresh Always, got 15 super chats. Maybe we get to 16, but you don't owe me anything. If you didn't learn something, I don't earn anything. That's how that works. Let's see. Fresh Always ×2. Thank you again. Bobby Williams 7816. Hey, I appreciate all you're doing. Thank you. Hosey B winning 6111. Thank you. I get high and watch ice. Oh, you wrong for that. Blue Baggins 5629. Thank you for the $4.99 super sticker. And he said, if you don't, he said, shout out to Blue Baggins 5629. Don't if they would just cooperate, this wouldn't happen to them. Somebody type work harder in the chat room. No, they told us to just work harder. So I'm going to give them the same advice. All they need to do is just comply and not run. Faquan, he said, $2 super sticker. Thank you so much. Foundational Black American Indians. Okay, that's a hard one to pronounce. Volo Television and also Yaya's Kids. Thank you so much for the $20 super sticker. Wally next door, hey, been intellectually dishonest or he dumb. Yeah, I mean, you know, people come in and want to prove their point. People want to win. I don't want to win, okay? I just want to be right, all right? I just want to be right. And if you can come in here and show me where I'm wrong, I'll accept that. But until you actually show me the proof of all of these white folk being targeted by ICE, I don't believe you, especially considering the rhetoric coming from the White House. And again, if you voted for Trump, cool, whatever. Just understand what's being said is not something we can ignore. The man specifically said, you know, some things that tend to make us believe that he wants us to be a white country. I mean, look at the people he's surrounded by, you know? Just think about that. Listen to some of the things that people who are saying. I mean, are we going to be ignoring that? And GCLA said, dude is what Tariq Nasheed calls a time waster. He brings confusion, conflation, and disingenuous statements to the discourse. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, but, you know, the thing is, if you talk to people long enough and you let them speak long enough, at some point they'll, you know, let you know who they are. And it's not, I'm not here to necessarily prove people wrong. I'm here to find out what we disagree with and what we agree with. And if you're a rational, logical person, there are going to be some things that are just irrefutable. And that's why I spend a lot of time just showing people videos. You judge for yourself. You make your own decision. You're the jury. All right. Shout out to Volo Television. Segregation was specifically targeted at FBA. That is true. But remember, people of color, I want you to understand something. There were signs up that said no Irish, no dogs, no Mexicans, along with no Negro. Okay. So the Irish suffered discrimination too. The Italians suffered discrimination. It wasn't until they were able to become white. Okay. That's when Italians got here, they'll tell you even the Italians didn't like Italians. Italians used to talk crazy to other Italians. The paisans or pais or whatever they call them, the paisans, they would talk horrible to them. They treat them horrible. Shout out to Obadiah and shout out to Lucifer Ratzing. Thank you so much for the cash. Let me put my cash app back up there. I've been putting the email up there. And we're gonna get back to what we're doing here. But let me finish reading this. So yeah, it wasn't just Black Americans that were segregated. It was also other people of color, quote unquote. No Indians. I mean, we got a whole racial history here in the United States that people want to bury. But the thing is carved into the ethos. And at this point, you're just stupid if you ignore history because it hurts your feelings, it makes you uncomfortable. Let's deal with it like adults. Let's just deal with the rationality. All right, I tell people all the time, I probably have a lot more in common with a white man with redneck tendencies who likes beer, barbecue, and Jesus than I do some foreigner who is of my same ethnicity. Just because we have a shared culture, a shared language, and largely shared experiences. And that's what culture does. It transcends racial lines. And I'm not saying, people don't have their differences and people don't have their strongly held beliefs. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just pointing out the fact that, what we're dealing with right now is racial targeting. And to try to say it's not because it makes you feel bad to think you're participating or benefiting from racism is just intellectually disingenuous and it's not politically mature. And we got to get around that. It is what it is. Just deal with it. Okay. I'm gonna read this one more super chat and then we love you, man. Keep this going in social media because you are needed. Okay, Michael Doss, we got another brother in here. Welcome, Michael Doss. Tell me where I'm wrong, please. Tell me that what we see going on with ICE. Oh, that's just happenstance. That's just happened who be there. Tell me that I'm wrong. I want to hear. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to say that, you know what? I think that ICE they're the government. It's the physical form of the law. We all gotta follow the law. It's kind of crazy that we can get these people to break the law and then think that they're supposed to be nice to them. Nah, the law is there for a reason. The law is there to keep us all in line. It's a law that's set by government and the people put in place to make sure we do what we're supposed to do and they do what they're supposed to do. I mean, if we don't have law, then what do we got? If we don't got guidelines, if we don't have guidelines to keep people in order, what do we got? We don't have anything. We don't have anything.
Right, brother.
So, I mean, it was wrong when they stormed the Capitol, but it's also wrong when they doing what they doing out there now. And if they say go by the law, I mean, we can't go back and change none of that. But right now, going forward, follow the law.
And when you say, be more specific, when you say follow the law, who are you talking to about follow the law? Tell us, brother.
The protesters. Protesters. We fighting. You say it all the time. We fight. This is not our fight. It's not our fight.
I'm gonna put you on the middle.
Hello.
What I wanted you to do was tell them what you said. So this will be a clippable moment. This is a regular brother telling us that these folks need to follow the law. Oh, you can't hear me. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear? Hit the number one button.
I can't hear you.
Hear me. Can you hear me? Jesus. Who can hear me? Can you all hear me?
I can't hear you.
All right. Somebody, they can hear me. They saying you can't hear me. Hold on a minute. I can hear you. See, can you all hear me? I can hear him. Can you hear me now? They can hear you. Go ahead and finish. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Come on. All right. I'm gonna click. I want you to come right back in. All right. Shoot, man, that's sad, man. I can't hear Michael Dawson anymore. But anyway, yeah, but I'm Michael Dawson. If you can hear me, come back in. If you can hear me, come back in. But basically what the brother was saying, and I'm assuming he's saying follow the law. In other words, you know, it is what it is. And that's kind of the same thing I'm saying. Part of being an adult is just accepting the fact that, you know, you're not always going to be the hero of your story. Okay. And that was the whole point of this. What we're trying to do as foundational Black Americans and it's something that we've demonstrated. We've become a lot more politically mature. The reason that you had 21% of Black men vote for Donald Trump because they recognize that, you know, his policies benefit us, or at least the Democrat policies don't benefit us. Okay. The reason that you had 7% of Black women vote for Donald Trump is we realize that they realize the policies benefit them. The reason you had so many Black people sit on the couch and not vote at all is because they realized neither the Republican policies nor the Democrat policies was worth them leaving their house and going out to vote. And that in itself is an expression of their political views. And I'm okay with that. Now, if anybody else wants to come in, you're welcome to come in, hit the number 1 button. In the meantime, look, man, what's up with all the folk? Y'all hiding and y'all got these horrible things to say. I got you. Come on in. Come on in and talk to me. Let's come voice your opinions. It's been about a year or so since I've let people come in and have conversations with me, and I've been busy. You understand me? But I'm back. Why don't y'all come on in here and have a conversation? In the meantime, I think I've read all the super chats, and if we can get that brother to come back in, it'd be great to have him come back in. We can continue the conversation. It'd be great to have you come back in. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and, we thanked everybody for the super chats. I appreciate you guys. Remember what I said earlier. If you've been involved in a car accident, feel free to give me a call. Okay. My number is 713-229-0770. I'm licensed in multiple states, and I certainly do appreciate your business. As you all know, I do not make a whole lot of money here on YouTube, but of course I do want to march towards 100,000. So if you haven't taken the opportunity to hit the like button or really hit the subscribe button, I certainly would appreciate it if you would do that now. Okay, please hit the subscribe button, whether you hate me or not. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm going to make you think. Maybe I make you mad, and I think I'm doing a good job at both. But the most important thing is I want you to think. Okay, again, hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to somebody says subscribe haters. I'm just trying to get to 100,000. I think I deserve 100,000. Make sure you sub, and also understand that YouTube systematically unsubscribes people. So please make sure you double check and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I certainly would appreciate that also. Well, let's do this. Like I said, I had the link in the chat room. We got one more person that's supposed to be coming back. I'd love to have y'all come in and chat it up. I'd like to get some new people in here who haven't been in tonight. It'd be great to have some new people in here who haven't come in tonight if we are going to continue this forward. But in the meantime, let's do this. Let me see if I can get my main microphone back working. Y'all let me know if you can hear me clearly. Let's see if we can get this microphone. Hit the number 1 button if you can hear me clearly. Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me clearly on my main microphone. If you can, let me know, because I want to kind of deliver this closing and ease on out of here. If you can hear it clearly, hit the number 1 button. Let me know. And we'll go ahead and get done with what we need to get done with tonight. Now, again, as I said earlier, my whole point of this broadcast was to put forth what I see happening, and that is that it's black and brown people being targeted, and it is what it is. And I laid that foundation, and there's a lot of people, most people agree that, yeah, that's true, and I'm glad. I'm glad we could get that. Now, here's the thing. Somebody says buzzing a little bit. Is it still buzzing? Is it still buzzing? Are we still buzzing a little bit? Somebody let me know. If it's buzzing, type buzzing in the chat room. If it's buzzing, let me know it's buzzing in the chat room. Slight buzz. It's working. I don't want to mess up the sound because we're going to hit this and get out of here. Oh, they keep saying zzz. It's buzzing. Somebody says the chat room is buzzing. All right, they're good. All right, so look, man, let's end this where it belongs. Too many people still clinging to the fantasy. And I'm talking to white folks, and I want you white folks to come to the front of the room. This is not an ethno-state, okay? And it never will be. And being an adult means accepting limits, right? It means understanding that history does not owe you an outcome you imagine, and the world doesn't reorganize itself to preserve your comfort. And this was never about heritage, culture, or history. It was always about control. Specifically, a lot of white folk, white men, white patriarchal men feel like they're losing control. It's not all white people, but it's enough of them. Enough of them to convince the rest of them. You see? All right? And what's happening now is not a conflict between black people or immigrants or modern society. It's an internal crisis within white folk society. It's a struggle over authority and masculinity and entitlement. And black people are not participants in that fight. We're spectators. But most of all, we're sitting this one out. We're resting. Okay? Now, they want somebody to blame. They want to drag us into this chaos. They thought by targeting black and brown people that we were going to jump in, but we've delineated. Somebody type delineate in the chat room. We've recognized that those folk, not only are they not foundational black Americans, but many of them don't even like us. And the truth is, secretly, we relish in the fact of seeing these people get up out of here because they've called us mean names like Akata. They've called us Jareer. We have had to endure anti-black racism at the hand of Latinos. And, we're happy to see them go. All right? Most black people won't admit that. And some black people want to pretend like, well, it's not racial. These people are breaking the law. All they got to do is stop resisting. They broke the law when they came here. Yeah, that might be true, but it's still racial targeting because despite what the folk are saying, I don't see a boatload of videos of white folk being handcuffed and tossed to the ground and thrown in the back of these ICE trucks and disappeared. I just don't see it. You see? And the truth is, in order for this country to maintain what some folk think it's supposed to be, it requires removing people who they feel are the problem. And so if your vision of safety and family and masculinity and manhood or country and culture, if it works through exclusion and coercion, then it was never strong to begin with. You see? History doesn't support that story. Nature doesn't support that story. And the Constitution doesn't support that story. This land was never empty. It was never pure white. It was never singular of one ethnicity and one race. It was built through conquest and contradiction and exploitation and conflict. You don't get to rewrite 500 years of history because reality no longer flatters you. You understand? And it's not about rage. It's not about nostalgia. It's not about all this online mythology. It's all of that is just taking us in reverse. You can't legislate desire. You can't force loyalty. You can't cage the future. But the main thing is, black folk, you need to understand, we're not anybody's enemy, and we're not going to be anybody's scapegoat. We're not coming to save folk from the reckoning they refuse to face. And this is between folks that we have no power and control over. I've made it a point earlier to show that we cannot be racist. We can be bigoted. Yes, black Americans can be bigoted. We can be bigoted, we can be prejudiced, but until we control the reins of power in this country, we can't exact that authority on anybody in any collective form. You might be able to call somebody a racial epithet, but you are not somebody who can control where they live, where they go to school, what their wages will be. You can't control laws that disproportionately affect them. So by definition, you just can't be a racist. Now, maybe there are some countries where people can be a racist, like some of those African countries where black people dominate. Maybe you can do that, but you can't be a racist here. Not in a country where you're a tiny minority. You see? So again, I want to revisit something that I talked about earlier, because at this point, it isn't debatable. And that, again, is the targeting of black and brown immigrants, while European undocumented immigrants or illegal aliens are largely being ignored. And it's not subtle, it's not accidental, and it's not bureaucratic. It's overt, it's intentional, it's racism. And black people, foundational black Americans especially, recognize it immediately. Y'all can't tell me you don't recognize that. Our whole culture is designed to sniff out racism when nobody else does. We can tell who's racist by how they operate. Clenching their purses, locking doors when we walk by. We know it. We don't need explanations. It comes from a culture that had to develop a sixth sense for racism just to survive. So we don't need studies. We can smell it. We can see it in the eyes and the posture and the movement and the habits. People pretend don't mean anything, locking doors, crossing streets, changing their tone. See, other people explain those things away. We never could afford to do that. It was a matter of life and death. We live inside it or our entire lives. And black people taught the rest of the world how to recognize racism. And we developed a culture which is successful, which has protected us from the onslaught of racist systems, bigotry, and prejudice. Everybody else learned to name it by watching us endure it. So when ICE openly targets black, brown, and Asian immigrants, while white illegal immigrants remain untouched largely, we don't need convincing. We know exactly what it is. And yes, let's be honest. We are saying, we told you so. All the black folk in the chat room type, we told you so. We warn people. We explain how this country really works. We explain that the proximity to whiteness is not protection. And now the same folks who wanted to be white adjacent, who thought siding with white folk would save them, are facing the consequences of their belief. And yes, we're gonna rub it in for a little while. We told you so. We're gonna rub it in. Type work harder in the chat room. That's what you told us. Work harder. Stop being a victim. Just comply. All you people running from ICE, just comply. Stop running. Okay, they wouldn't have to ram into your cars if you would just comply, right? Isn't that the type of advice you give us? You wouldn't get beat up if you would just comply. Okay? So we're going to rub it in. I don't think it's nice to do that. I think it's pretty harsh. That's pretty bad, right? But bottom line is, it is what it is. And I can't control everybody. All I can do is point it out. Okay, but here's where black people have to pause and think. Shout out to Volo Television. Because even as we watch this unfold, we also have to admit something uncomfortable. And I talk about this a lot, and I'm going to say it again. And that is that we're benefiting from the deportation of these illegal immigrants. And here's the other thing, we benefit from these people being harassed. Anytime ICE comes to your town, the traffic is lighter on the highways because people are not staying in town. Over 2 million illegal immigrants self-deported. 2 million self-deported. So yeah, Trump and ICE are raising hell, and these people are going home. So we don't even have to see them anymore. So what does that translate to for black communities where they end up? Somebody said less flag waving. Yeah, we don't have to see their flags. But more importantly, it's less competition. It's more space for us and our children. It's more access to resources. Hell, it's more breathing room. The parks are not going to be as crowded on Cinco de Mayo. We don't have to worry about them taking over Essence Festival. You understand? And that benefit is real and it's dangerous. It's real and it's tangible, but it's also dangerous. It's definitely not, we're definitely not good Christians right now, are we? Are we? It's not moral work. It's clearly the devil's work because it's based on racist targeting. We agree with that. Let's just agree with that. Don't run from it. Let's agree with it. Let's agree that we benefit from this racist, bigoted targeting of these black and brown people. Let's agree with that and accept the fact that that is clearly the devil's work. Separating people from their families, sending them home without even due process, just snatching them, but they ain't hardworking people, not just criminals. You understand? And the thing we have to understand, black people, is the same lesson that white folk have learned. When you benefit from unjust systems, you don't escape accountability. You inherit exposure. See, the devil never gives without intending to collect. And that's the part that people keep ignoring. History, the Holy Bible, it tells the same story. Once power exhausts one scapegoat, it doesn't repent, it redirects. And that direction has always landed on black wealth, black legitimacy, and black stability. Hear me now. Hear me. That's the devil's due. They will try to strip us. They will try to tarnish us. They will at some point try to drag us down with them. Because that's what drowning people do. They don't swim. They grab whoever is closest and they try to pull them under. And see, the scripture warns us too. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and suffer. That's Proverbs 22:3. And here's the hard truth, black folk, and it's something you need to understand and hear plainly. Some people can't be saved. Jesus himself made it clear that he told his disciples that when people reject truth and accountability, there comes a time to walk away. You see? If they do not welcome you or listen to you, shake the dust off your feet and leave. That's Luke 10, chapter 10, verse 10 through 11. This isn't cruelty, this is wisdom. White America is dealing with the consequences of half a millennia of what it built, what it justified and what it normalized and what it enforced. And that reckoning was coming whether we were involved or not. And the black people keep trying to carry people who refuse accountability, co-signing with what they're doing and pretending like it ain't what it is, trying to explain it away, okay? Trying to moralize it. We're gonna go down with them. And see, part of us trying to justify this racism because we benefit from it is us not wanting to let it go or let them go. And what I'm expressing to you is not hatred and it's not bitterness. It's about survival. What did our Bibles tell us in Corinthians chapter 6 and 17? Come out from among them and be separate. Now, that's not about isolation. It's about refusing entanglement with destruction. Now, in order to come out of them, you have to recognize what they do and separate yourself from it. I spent 20 minutes trying to explain to a young man that what we see is what it is. What we know from history, that this country has always targeted Black, indigenous people, and brown people and Asian people. You trying to tell me it's not doing that now? That means you don't want to come out of her. Look, foundational Black Americans have survived long enough to know one thing for certain. When the fire moves, it always comes back around. And scripture reminds us that wisdom isn't loud, it's discerning. And see, this is a time survival won't come from shouting or proving a point. It will come from clarity. It'll come from distance. That's Black survival instinct aligned with truth. Doing what we've always done, seeing it first and moving accordingly. And see, that's why we're resting right now. Tell the truth. See, the truth is we're resting right now because it's not like we had a meeting. Did we have a meeting? No. After Trump got elected, did any of us have a meeting? Whether you voted for him, yes or no? We didn't have a meeting. But collectively, we decided we were resting. Because we're connected in that regard. You see? For centuries, Black people have been forced into a role of a moral ballast and an economic engine and a cultural stabilizer and a political pressure valve. We've absorbed damage. We've carried held the country together while being blamed for its failures. And every time the system started collapsing under the weight of its own lies, Black people were expected to step in and calm it down and explain it and fix it, or worst case scenario, bleed forward. And that era is over. What you're seeing now is not apathy, it's refusal. We're no longer jumping into the water to save people who keep swimming toward the whirlpool and then panic when it pulls them under. Somebody typed Latinos for Trump in the chat room. This is what they voted for. That's them swimming toward the whirlpool. Somebody typed Muslims for Trump in the chat room. Didn't Trump take Michigan? Didn't all these people being targeted by ICE, didn't they vote for him? And now you want Black folk to grab your hands and try to keep you from falling in while you trying to pull us down? We're not going to exhaust ourselves trying to rescue people who refuse to change that course. You can go ahead and go with them feet. Again, white America is facing the consequences of 500 years of what it built. And that reckoning belongs to them. And they're going to have to figure out how to save themselves because we're not going to drown with them for other people's sake. And the most important thing that you all have to do as Black folks is realize what you see with your eyes is what it is. These policies are racist. I don't care who you voted for. It's in your interest. I'm okay with that. Some may call it evil. Some may call it a good thing, whatever it is, but it's still racism. You understand? Now, the great thing that bothers most of these folk is that, you know, despite what everybody else is going through, Black folks are going to be all right. Immigrants don't like the fact that we're going to be all right. Some white folk don't like the fact that we around here unbothered. We're not panicking. We're not scrambling. You don't see us around here packing up supplies. We're going to be all right. We're not begging to be included. We see what's happening. We understand the patterns. And instead of trying to stop the inevitable, we're choosing survival over sacrifice. And that's not cruelty. That's not clarity. Sometimes the most responsible thing you can do is let people experience the full weight of their decisions while you swim away and live. And that's exactly what Black folks are doing. Again, let me drive this point home. This is what you all voted for. This is what you asked for. Trump overwhelmingly won the majority vote here in the United States. First time in a long time for a Republican. And the majority of Black people tried to tell you, so guess what? We're going to keep sitting on the couch. Now, anybody who you're welcome to disagree with me, I appreciate you, but you can't tell me what I'm seeing ain't true. And the vast majority of Americans, if they're honest with each other, they will tell you that what we see ICE doing is targeting Black, brown, and Asian immigrants, illegal immigrants, and communities. That's what we see happening. We see a disproportionate targeting. They're anywhere from between 500 to 800,000 European immigrants and illegal immigrants, and I don't see them being handcuffed and thrown to the ground and thrown in the back of cars and whisked away. I don't see it. And until you show me these videos, until I start seeing it, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with what I know to be true. And that's based on the history of our country and the history of recent history of what I see between ICE and the interactions and police. It is what it is. And Black folks, you have to reconcile the fact that you benefit from these racist policies. That's all I'm asking you to do. Thank you, everybody, for your time, and I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. It was great having those people come in. I appreciate the trolls. Thank you, trolls. It makes the conversation interesting. I enjoy the pushback. I'd love for you to come in and prove me wrong. I'm never one of these people to tell you I'm right all the time. That's a level of arrogance that I hope to never reach. I want to be proved wrong. I want to learn. Okay? Nevertheless, thank you all. I appreciate everybody. Shout out to all the trolls. Somebody type Hall of Fame lawyer in the chat room. But remember, if you've been involved in a car accident, give me a call at 713-229-0770. Shout out to all the Americans. I appreciate everybody. White, Black, Hispanic, Asian. I come from a place of love. I want to see everybody succeed. I want to see America really be first. And I understand we're pushing some people around, and I get it. And it's hard for a lot of people to look, but it's hard. We're gonna take Greenland. Okay, damn, is it gonna be good for us? Yeah, well, then let's take it then. I'm sorry. I hate to be like that, but if it's good for America, I'm over here. This is my side. Okay. And I'm for America, safety, security, and wealth and prosperity because I live here and I'm not going anywhere. Most of you, if you're smart, you'll be 100% for America too, because we got to live here. I promise you, those people don't care about us over there. And you might call Donald Trump a fool, and maybe he is, but whatever he's doing seems to be working to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like it's working. All right. But anyway, God bless you all. I love y'all. This is Uncle D. I'm out.
In the Spurling podcast, hit the like button, subscribe.